You're just making stuff up. No, he's not making stuff up. He's plugging stuff into ChatGPT as fast as he can, and it's or something, and it's giving him a response, and he's just rapid fire reading that response. Like a lot of the people who, for example, are taking the position that Chudlogic, who once upon a time named his channel ironically, that Chudlogic is taking with respect to the shooting of Renee Good. A lot of these people who are taking the position that this was justified still are under the impression that the camera that Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent, was holding was a vest cam, like he's a cop. These are the people on Facebook who again, like, fall for, oh my god, look, there's a 400-pound woman screaming in court because she wants a cheeseburger. It's like, this is AI. These people can't process that stuff can be fake. These people can't process that stuff can be framed negatively. We looked at a Fox News article yesterday that had so many layers of misrepresentation just in the title alone, it was mind-boggling. They had a picture of a black police chief. And up top they said, lawmakers say you can't, what was something to the effect of like, you can't impede ICE. And then it had a quote by her, you can't choose where to arrest people. And the implication from the title was that this police officer, who was a black police officer, which is an interesting stance for someone to take a pro-ICE stance when they're one of the groups of people being targeted, was defending ICE. No, she was, the video they linked of her was her pillorying ICE, calling them criminals and saying, we will arrest you. This doesn't fly here. But it gets better than that, because in addition, the lawmakers part, that wasn't there either. The actual quote that seemed to be attributed to the black police chief, and then also to the lawmakers, was actually attributed to some random retired shithead professor from a military college who just said this. And it's like, nobody read past the headline on this thing. And if they did, they couldn't read. Thank you, Waco. Appreciate it. I don't know what 20 sec is. Hang on, I'm gonna assume it's 2, because it's blue. It's low. It looks like 2 to me. Alright, so we're gonna watch this debate. Do I even have my live screen open? No, I have to remake one. That's okay. That's fine. That's cool. Anyways, so that's by way of updates. I'm not even interested in the Trump meeting with Greenland, because I think the thing that makes me most curious is, why is he meeting with them at all? Or more accurately, why is the Greenland PM meeting with Trump? To what point or purpose? You can't trust anything he says. There's no reason to. I literally don't see any reason to. It could have been a phone call. Very, very odd decision. Okay, are we doing Pisco? Okay, guys, chat, we need to make a decision. Are we watching Pisco's side, or are we watching Chudlogic's side? Pisco or Chudlogic? I'm going to pull up both just so we have it, so we know which one's worse. Chudlogic is going to be on Kick, which means it may be significantly less stable. Pisco's is on YouTube. I'm tempted to do Pisco's. I think we'll do Pisco's. Why has he got the exact same intro as it looks like the exact same intro card as Wix, just a little more pink. There we go. All right. There's going to be 2 more video essays out in the next 7 days. One of them is going to be a response to a Conaboy who misrepresented James Hugh Scott, which annoys me. Annoys me very much, in fact. And the other one is actually going to be more on stuff you can do to build up cultural resistance to top-down fascism in your country, regardless of if it's the States or not. All right, is that a good balance there? I think that's good. Okay. because the gambling friendly site. Yep. I don't think it's just gambling friendly. I think it relies on it for its revenue. I think it's primarily gambling. But it also has videos, so to a certain extent I don't care. You mean Unlearning Economics, not Econoboy? Yeah, I don't know anything about Econoboy except that Brianna Wu made him cry. I felt bad for him. Like Econoboy seems like a genuinely nice guy, but Unlearning Economics I think is I have an extremely dim view of Unlearning Economics. I think I am increasingly of the opinion that he is basically the economic politics version of Philosophy Tube. I think he's managed to market himself to a place where he is immune to criticism, and therefore he is now just putting out slop, and people are reading it as if this is educational content. They're taking his word for it, and he's just spouting out garbage and nonsense. It is essentially, like, here's the thing. When you make educational content, it's not like entertainment. You're not just an entertainer.
At Jakek.403 super chatted $40.72. Theory, this should fill it up.
That does fill it up.
This money should go to Canada's defense budget.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, that's full. I need to put the theory thing back. So we'll be doing a theory segment after this. And it'll go for about an hour to 2 hours, depending on how tired I am. But we're going to do this, and then we're going to do theory. And that is how it will happen. You are also all encouraged to join the Discord server. If you have not, the link is in the description. If that doesn't work, someone check if that works for me, will you? I may need to update it. I'm going to be much more active in the server going forward. Basically daily. Boom, boom, boom. I might have to update it here. Hang on, let me pop it into the description, and then we will begin, okay? Details, Cathedral, okay. And we're gonna lose the merch shop link. Mostly because I need to update it for Prime. We're gonna have new cardigans soon. And they're gonna be cheaper. I'm gonna see if I can get I'm gonna see if I can find a cheaper vendor for the cardigans. With high quality though. I like the quality of these cardigans, but they cost like $100. All right. Here we go. Boom. And I guess we should reset this, shouldn't we? So we're doing theory after this. Give me suggestions. I have some ideas already, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay, when does this thing start? Here we go. Nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. I kind of want to see his prep. I want to see the background to this. If you'll indulge me. Pisco, what on earth are you wearing, man? He is like Wick. He is Wick. He's turning into Wick. He's even got the hoodie up and everything.
I'm sick, bro. How you doing?
He's sick.
Wait a second. I gotta show people your beautiful mug. 1 second.
Dude.
Nomus of the Earth? We can do Nomus of the Earth.
What?
It's been a minute.
There was a short Nomus of the Earth stream on Patreon recently, but yeah, we can do Nomus of the Earth.
Dude.
It's been... How long has it been since we talked?
Years, probably. I'm
Years?
a fascist now. I don't know if you heard. I think so.
What the fuck? I thought you were like a communist.
Well, that's it. Let's just say I've had a political awakening.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you actually had the exact opposite. So I'm going to actually diagnose Chudlogic here, okay? Because here's what you need to understand about Chudlogic. Chudlogic is a victim of bullying. You want to understand Chudlogic's politics? You need to understand Chudlogic is a horrible victim of bullying. Chudlogic, once upon a time, and you can watch his old streams, they're still archived somewhere online, used to be a progressive, Mark Fisher-Reeden leftist panel host. Okay, it's actually how I first met him, because I was conservative at the time. The difference is I read my way into being progressive, and he got bullied into being right-wing. And that's a damn shame, because I think a lot of people had that happen to them too, because one of the creepy things that happened with leftist content creators is that they used trans people, like they use a lot of people, as a token population, as a marketing strategy. We are the pro-trans people. This is a pro-trans channel. We defend you, okay? And what they do then is they will allow people who are very toxic online but who fit into those categories, they will let those people just bully other people in their communities and dogpile them. In fact, sometimes they'll even help them do this. And what happens is all of those communities that they claim to represent, they actually get repurposed as a human shield for the creator. This is what Vosh did. This is why Vosh networked with Keffels and promoted Keffels, despite the fact that Keffels herself was a massive bully against not just other leftists, but against other trans people as well. And why he said nothing when she scammed her audience out of $100,000. Because she was a human shield for Vosh. That's the purpose of these people to them. So Chudlogic gets the short end of the stick, and he gets dogpiled by these bullies. Someone lies to him about their age in DMs, or lies about their age after the DMs. We have no way to know. And a whole bunch of people start characterizing him as a groomer. He goes over his messages on Discord, and they're very, very tame. And he doesn't do anything inappropriate. He asks the person's age, gets confirmation that she's of age, and there's nothing else there. But afterwards, he got characterized as a pedophile by these people. He got doxxed by them. And following from that, he just gave up. And he started networking in the other direction. Why? Because there's friends there. Because this is the strength of the right wing. The right wing is ready to accept anyone, legitimately or illegitimately, who gets attacked by people on the left. There's a great book that talks about this diagonal shift called Doppelgangers by Naomi Klein. Highly recommend it. But Chudlogic got bullied. And Chudlogic to this day is still having his strings pulled by the fact that he is ashamed in his new with his new audience for being attracted to trans women, and knows that there is no going back to the left-wing audience because he's gone on this massive transphobic stint for the last couple of years in order to sort of, in my humble opinion, protest way too much that he is absolutely way too straight for this and that he was just mind-fucked by the left. I think he's a victim of bullying. I think everything he is doing right now is because he was chewed up and spat out by the movement he had aligned himself with as his marketing strategy and his identity. Right-wingers and centrists and drama weirdos accepted him when those other people wouldn't. And now that the numbers are going down, now he's doubling and tripling down on transphobia, racism, and right-wing rhetoric because he's hoping to get picked up by those people. And it won't happen. He doesn't have the chops for it. He's not really there. This is a person who, when he started his YouTube career, would go on to his would go on stream, and he would be like, well, conservatives who don't want kids to have access to HRT want there to be dead kids. And that's that. And he would talk like this. That's how he would go. It wouldn't be like this thing is... I know that's a terrible accent, but it's like, bro! Like, he didn't do that shit. He was more himself, I think, at the time. Right now, he's playing a role. His editor, who has his head screwed on more than Chud's at this point, had an eye for marketing his stuff to a drama audience, and he did pretty well when he was networked with people like Destiny and Dorio and whatnot. Now he seems to be more on his own, and on his own, numbers are going down. There's a couple of reasons for this. A part of it is because his politics are insincere. He's doing it strategically to try and appeal to people that he actually has very little in common with on the right. The other reason is because drama content in general has been drying up, because it's become so incestuous that it doesn't involve anything that normal people care about. Right now, they're all dogpiling this kid called Aiden, who said and did some stupid, embarrassing shit. And it's like, I think the worst of it was apparently he doxed someone's wife. It was some like Leo Convoy person. I don't really care about any of this, but it's like he doxed someone's wife as while he was spiraling out about this creator he hates. And now all of these people are dogpiling this like 21-year-old guy who was a bozo. And it's like, yeah, that's really bad. This guy, yeah, Aiden Projects. This guy Aiden, it's really bad. Who's Aiden? Who's this guy? You know, there's like wars going on. You got like Gestapo in the streets, like just shooting people and knocking down doors. This is, you think this is what people care about? And no, nobody cares about this. Nobody cares about this. The limited audiences of a few very, very stupid freaks like Nicholas DeOrio maybe care because he posts about it. But like fundamentally, like this entire ship is sinking because nobody gives a shit anymore. It had potential. It had growth potential back when all of these people were networked into like politics streams and whatnot. So there was some kind of, you know, the cards were shuffled occasionally and there was like new energy coming in every so often. But now it's just like it's just there's nothing. It's just a desert. There's nothing. And he's been complaining about his views as well. Chudlogic, not Pisco. Although I don't think Pisco's views have been great either. Chudlogic's views have been like, he used to get like 30,000, 50,000, sometimes 100,000 views on some of his videos. I think he's been struggling to get past 5,000 lately. It's not good. And so he's I think he's making decisions based on what he thinks. It's just a Hail Mary. And I think he's going to get raked across the coals here because I don't think he has a leg to stand on. And Pisco can argue. I don't think he always argues well, but he can argue, and I think he has a rock solid position here.
At Shinny_616 super chatted $5. YouTube automodded me after donoing.
What do you mean? What do you mean auto-modding? Like they made you a mod? Because you're not a mod on my end. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate it. Here we go.
I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, so short version of this. Chudlogic is not sincere. Chudlogic has no idea what he's talking about. Chudlogic is taking this position because he got shoved into a locker. And Chud, buddy, old pal, I don't think this is the real you. I think your strings are getting pulled from some trauma from a couple years ago. And I think you need to get over it because life is getting shorter. And, you know, this just isn't a great place to be, much less to end up. Somebody doesn't know what automodded means? Oh, do you mean like you're, you were blocked from all chat on YouTube? After donoing to me? What did you dono? What did you dono? I mean, you're donoing to me, so you weren't, are you like, do you have a different username? Weird.
If you're familiar with his work.
I dabble. I dabble. I've got
to say, listen, I want to be upfront. I was going to make jokes about you getting deported, but I felt that was a bit much. So, you know, I think we'll leave that at the door. Okay.
Do you understand that we have Trump as the president now? That like I'm Hispanic and that could be taken as racially insensitive?
I think that's the joke, Pisco.
Yeah, of course. But that's what I do. I do racially insensitive.
Oh, you're
jokes.
racist.
But I said I'm not going to do it. I said I'm not going to do it, bro. I'm being nice.
Typical British person. Say they're not going to do it, but you bringing it up means you're kind of doing it. What's up, man? Listen,
yeah, exactly.
It's been a minute.
This is the worst banter I've ever heard, by the way. He's got to work on this.
It's been a fucking minute. I'm glad to talk to you. What's been going on?
I'm glad to talk to you too. I'm glad to talk to you too, okay?
Yeah.
Right? Because I need to get something straight.
Yeah.
Did you Stardust last night?
No, what are you saying? What are you saying? Why are you saying this? Is this what you do
Conceptually.
No.
What do you think I used to do, bro? You never watched my content, clearly. No, come on. What's going on with Stardust, bro? Tell me.
She calls into my... I'm doing something with Wick TV. You know him? Ever heard of him? He I'm
familiar with Wick, yeah.
You familiar with his work?
It is. It's like a disease. It's spreading. He's just dressing like Wick now.
He does this thing where he like...
Where's
he brings in like D-tier celebrities like me to come in and have like I don't know, some kind of struggle session.
Pisco, buddy, you're not a D-tier celebrity. You're not a celebrity. I don't know how to tell you this, buddy. You ain't a celebrity. No one's celebrating you.
And everyone comes in and says stuff, and she was among the many callers who called in and said that someone was like racist towards her, and I thought that was fucked up, and she reported him to the police.
What? Wait, what? What?
the many callers who called in and said that someone was like racist towards her, and I thought that was fucked up, and she reported him to the police.
What?
Okay, I got to be honest with you, man. I think you got fucking a bit there, to be honest with you.
What the fuck does that mean? Walked. That sounds like a Groiper term.
Well, I don't know if it's a Groiper term. I saw it on Twitter.
Is Pisco putting on like an act? What is this?
And thought it was funny. I don't know if Stardust is Jewish actually, but I think you were too kind of subservient to her. You know?
What do you mean
Also, she's
subservient?
Indian, so.
Like I'm not going crazy, right? Like he's talking weird. Maybe he's sick. He's like holding up a tissue to his nose.
Well, you know, you're kind of bowing down to her.
I've been like, yeah, it was racist. Like, what do you want me to say? It was racist. Bowing down. Like, I'm gonna look like an asshole if I'm like, it didn't hurt your feelings and it's not racist. It was racist. And so
He's trying to have a level of showmanship. Yeah, just look, Pisco. We're all on the same side right now. Just don't do that. Just don't do that. Just be yourself, man. Stop this.
What did you want me to do? What did you want me to do?
My old colleague, I've got much to teach you. It seems.
What did you want me to know?
We'll start with the law.
Pisco said he was sick. Like I'll give him a pass if he's sick. It's like, but it's just like, just stop with the hey fellow kids stuff. Just don't do it.
Wait, let's role play. Let's role
I don't
play.
think he's coping. He has like he's like bundled up and he had a tissue on his nose. So
Let's role play. So I'm
thoughts
gonna.
on Queeman's takes. I haven't seen Queeman's takes. I've seen Queeman's position on the shooting, and I think I generally agree with him. I don't know what Queeman's takes on the debate are. I haven't seen that. I think he's streaming concurrently to me also watching this actually.
Be Stardust. Ready?
Go on.
Pisco. Well, I was this person is like your best friend, and he called me, a slur for.
Don't care, bitch. Don't care.
Really? You would do that?
Well, I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, I'm a very
This
big
is getting
believer
weird. No,
in
this is just
excessive
weird.
force. So, I would be
Clearly.
I'll be on top of that. Yeah.
No, but Stardust was like complaining about some person who attacked her. If I say that, you know what they say, right? Do you know what they say?
What?
No, what do they say?
What do they say?
They say that I cultivate a community of snarkers. They say this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know about your little call with Queeman where he told you to be more chippy. So I'm wondering if that has impacted.
Don't say that. Well, listen, Chud is saying my call with Queeman. It was a call in my Discord that was illegally recorded against my rules. All right, but it wasn't like anything beyond that. Queeman,
Nobody cares.
Is Queeman like your friend?
Well, you tell me, dude. You've spoken to him more recently on a voice call, apparently. So you tell me, bro.
Well, you're both.
This interaction is so weird and stilted, and they're not. Why is Pisco talking like an AI bot?
British. I'm told that Queeman comes from your community. That's what people tell me.
He does, but I've had to cast him out because he's unfortunately
a Hassan
been too
fan?
attacking of some colleagues of mine. He's a Hassan fan. He's gone after all the commentary guys, and they don't like me anymore. So I'm kind of raped, basically.
Who are the commentary guys? This is Nicholas Diorio.
Yeah, like Nick Diorio, Willie Mac show.
I learned who Nick Diorio
Tommy
was. He blocked me. I've never spoken to this man in my life.
You know what? All is forgiven, Pisco. We stand Pisco now, okay? I don't care about his weird, stilted way of talking. I don't care about him sniffling on camera. I don't care that he's following Wick's dress code, okay? Anyone who gets blocked by Nick Diorio is a friend of mine.
Nick Diorio.
Oh, he does that. He does that. Yeah,
I haven't talked to him. I haven't said a word to this dude.
But he's still scared of you. See, his gelatinous exterior, it senses the vibrations in the air at great distance.
It's because he's worried of your great legal knowledge.
About what?
Well, exactly. Good question. I'm about to ask you the same thing, bro.
Fuck. Well, hopefully.
Anyway, no, wait a second. Sorry, dude. I thought of a better joke, and it's too late now. But what I should have said to you when you asked that, what have you done? You failed to realize that Ethan Klein always wins. Fuck, that'd have been so much better, dude. That'd have been so much better.
Oh, shit. Fucking Kleins are doing this. I don't have
Just a reminder, both these men are in their 30s.
anything inherently against the commentary class or commentary community or whatever the fuck it is you guys call yourself. You just do like drama stuff. You do like Chris Chan.
Yeah, sure. Drama.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of retired the format, but I'll still talk about like if someone gets accused of some sexual misconduct. I know you were terrified to go over Destinies. I get it. It's fine. Being a former Orbiter as well. We're from the same plantation. I totally get that fucking situation. Okay, but
these are racially and sexually offensive remarks you're making. I just want to say that I disavow you. Plantation.
Okay, I'll try and rein it in a bit, man. Because seriously, dude, I do want to have like a serious conversation, okay? But it's me and it's you. Okay. So, can we get
I'm walking back some previous statements here.
started where we began with this? Because you were actually quite rude about me, and you're being very nice now. So I need to challenge you on this.
Rude to you? I said, fuck you.
No, I can't fix them. I can't fix them. This is like trying to fix a zombie virus.
Did you take it
Yeah, you
personally?
said, fuck you, Chud dumbass, because I said that I believe the takes I saw on Twitter were motivated by emotion, fear, or politics.
This is the worst. This may be the worst conversation of all time.
And I think that's true.
And you took it personally because you what? Believe the kayfabe?
I wouldn't say I took it personally.
Oh.
I just thought it was rich coming from you, right? Because you're a fucking dumbass, bro.
Oh.
Okay. I actually listened to one of your takes, and when I looked into it, and it turns out
so you did a little
just wrong.
fucking research? I didn't prepare by watching your shit. You have your people like sending you clips of mine?
Bro, dude, I didn't need to watch you do any research.
Oh, wait.
I've watched
Wait,
50 hours of body cams. 50 hours of body cams. That's all I need.
There's needed
50 hours of. There were no body cams. There were no body cams.
Atalgi enthusiast super chatted $6.24. Chud has been giving "Hello fellow kids" energy ever since he started pandering to reactionaries. It gives me secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, it's not a good look. Thank you, appreciate it.
needed context. There's needed context. So the person who told me, by telling me, I mean added me on Twitter, with that clip was Substance, was this Twitter account Substance, who was also apparently in my Discord, and that's the person who Stardust called her, or sorry, sent a picture of gore of a cow. That was like, and among other things that he.
So like at this, like a picture of a supermarket meat section, because that's gore of a cow. I don't know what that means, gore of a cow. We do have kind of a weird attitude about that too, don't we? I wonder about that all the time. It's like, that's a horror show, isn't it? Anyways.
He did that were racist. So it actually does tie into our intro there. But yeah, that's how I knew what you said. I didn't do like fucking research into your takes. And just 1 second, like someone's at my door. I don't know why. I might be killed. Just 1 second.
All right, go on.
Ice got him.
I haven't even started yet, bro. It's still the it's still the ice breaking. Am I right? The ice breaking. You get it? You get it?
Good one. I get it. I get it. I get it.
But then what if you heard this, dude? What if you heard this? Wait, dude. What if you heard this? What?
Back.
Oh. Okay.
Where were we? I'm sorry. I'm pretty sick.
No, it's okay. You're making excuses already. I understand. Don't worry. Okay, bro. Anyway, we're talking about substance. So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You were baited by a clipper, right? I didn't really have that big an issue with you. I was talking about how everyone is along political lines on this and hasn't actually looked.
Let me tell you, it's one of the most the knowledge that Pisco is a lawyer. I never fully appreciated just how dumb lawyers could be, because you hear about it, you feel like smart kids, they grow up to be doctors and lawyers. It's like, no, they don't. I almost went into law. It is not a smart person vocation.
To anything, and I included you within
Don't
that.
bitch out now. You said, "Oh, he's political. He's got a bias," as though that's informing my take.
Well, okay, it is informing your take, I believe.
Lawyers can be smart. Lawyers can be smart, but it's not like doctors are smart. Lawyers can be smart. It's an important, a subtle but important distinction.
Can explain why I think that, but beyond that as well, okay, I wasn't even like directing it at you. It was a very broad comment, but it was clipped and sent to you in order to provoke you, right? When I said
It worked.
and this is where we can get into the conversation, I said I saw one of your takes and thought, oh, that's interesting, but I looked into it and turned out it's totally fucking false and wrong, dude. Your claim that there needs to be lethal force justification for each bullet fired, not correct, untrue.
There doesn't need to be lethal force justification for lethal force. That's what a bullet fired is, Chud. What percentage of the bullets need justification?
In virtue of what is it untrue?
when an officer decides to use lethal force, there is
Okay.
precedent for this, that they don't need to justify every
That's not an officer, it's an ICE agent. They're different.
single bullet fired. They only need fire until the threat is extinguished.
So, right.
Okay, but here's the problem though. You don't extinguish the threat of a moving vehicle by shooting the driver. The driver's foot is still on the pedal, as evidenced by the fact that the guy had to move out of the way still when the car passed by, and then it kept driving to hit whatever God desires it hit. Like, this line of argumentation is so stupid. It's like, the officers, the agents need to be able to shoot in order to neutralize the threat. Yeah, but shooting doesn't neutralize the threat. And it's weird how you can hold these two in your head at once. Because you really do have to be at least contextually nuts to say these two things at the same time. Because you invalidate the justification as you're giving it and you still believe it. Which means your internal thought process is just broken.
So that should let you know that deadly force, right, to the extent that there continues to be a pervasive threat, it would continue to justify the firing of bullets.
You're stuttering a bit there, bro. You're stuttering a bit there. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me make it really clear.
That means that each bullet needs to be justified. So what you just said proves my point.
Okay, no, it doesn't at all, and you're wrong, and I'll explain how.
That was terribly argued.
Okay.
That was terribly argued, Pisco. No, just deny the proposition. Yes, every single bullet needs to be justified. Otherwise, by definition, you are saying that, oh, I'm fine with random hooligans being scooped up and armed are just allowed to, without justification, fire on American citizens. Boom. You need justification. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, I do need to read this.
Ad hominem with the stuttering, though? That's not an ad hominem. Okay. Here. This annoys me. So we're going to take a quick break to explain what ad hominem is. Because people need to understand what an ad hominem fallacy is. Okay? It's a fallacy. Insulting a person is not an ad hominem fallacy. Insulting a person as an argument is an ad hominem fallacy. Why are we saying ad hominem fallacy? Fallacy is an error in reasoning. Okay? A fallacy is you've introduced a means of progression from premise to conclusion that is unjustified, that doesn't actually work. Ad hominem is when you treat the mechanism by which you move from premise to conclusion when the mechanism is an insult. That's simple, okay? Insulting someone, perfectly allowed, perfectly valid, so long as it's not the argument. It can be the conclusion, and you can say it in addition to everything else. I've seen so many idiots. I'm not being performative, I'm really mad. It actually grinds my gears. So many idiots who will see someone make an insult, say, you did ad hominem here. Go read a book.
I'm making that clear because obviously I don't know this off my head, okay? So...
Also, did you just assume ad's gender?
Hopefully that's okay because I'm not a fucking lawyer like you are, okay?
Okay.
But this was actually determined in a case called Plumhoff versus Ricard, okay?
Plumhoff, yeah. It's a SCOTUS decision from the 2010s.
Yeah. And this was in regards to a police
Okay, when Pisco said he didn't look at what Chud was looking at, I think he was lying.
chase. Now, obviously, the violence of the police chase contributed to the decision that lethal force was authorized.
Yeah.
But separately to that, they said this. We now consider respondents' contention that even if use of deadly force was permissible, petitioners acted unreasonably in firing a total of 15 shots. We reject that argument. It stands to reason that if police officers are justified in firing at a suspect...
If they are justified at firing at a suspect. Police are specifically trained not to fire at suspects in moving vehicles. Why? Because if you fire at a suspect in a moving vehicle, 2 additional dangers have been added to the situation and no dangers have been removed from the situation. What's the danger in the situation in the premise? Well, you got a suspect in a moving vehicle that could hurt somebody. Okay, does firing your weapon stop that from being a danger? No. The vehicle is still moving. All you've done is you've potentially removed an agent from controlling the vehicle, thereby endangering everybody else in the vicinity. 2 additional dangers have been added, however. 1, the first one I just mentioned, you've endangered everyone in the vicinity because now you have a rogue vehicle with no driver still going down wherever it may, hitting whatever. But secondly, it's a lot more dangerous to hit a moving target than a stationary target. If a car is moving, you risk shooting other people in the vehicle. You risk shooting people around or behind the vehicle. All sorts of things. This is one of the reasons why, again, police are specifically told not to fire at moving vehicles. It's super risky. Contrary to what you see on television, that's not how it actually goes down. It's really stupid to do. There's no justification for it. If the person was getting away, that's not a justification either. There's one condition under which it is acceptable to fire on someone in a moving vehicle as a cop, which, by the way, the shooter in this case was not. And that is if the person poses an additional threat to being in the vehicle. So, for example, let's say they're in the vehicle and they're also firing a weapon of their own out of the window. That would stand as a justification to open fire on the vehicle. As a cop, right? None of this is justified here. Even from a practical standpoint, the person still had to get out of the way of the vehicle. The person did not stop the vehicle from moving by shooting at the vehicle. And in addition to this, the vehicle kept on driving and crashed into another car. If there were kids there, if there was like a pedestrian walking by, that could have killed multiple other people who had nothing to do with that altercation. And all of this leaving aside the fact that the person who was killed was an American citizen and had every right to leave.
In order to end a severe threat to public safety, the officers need not stop shooting until the threat
So you'd make a good lawyer. My dad was a lawyer, or was almost a lawyer briefly.
has ended. As petitioners noted below,
Let me tell you, you get a talking to from my dad growing up. Ugh, you pick up some stuff.
if lethal force is justified, officers are taught to keep shooting until the threat is over. That is the Supreme Court precedent on this issue.
So you just realized you fucked yourself, right?
How?
Okay. So where in
Nani? How did he fuck himself? I wasn't paying attention.
you're just
That is the Supreme Court precedent on this issue.
so you just realized you fucked yourself, right?
How?
Okay. So where in your quotation from Plumhoff does it
Though, no, Pisco, come on. Rhetoric 101. You don't say you realize you just fucked up, right? How? Don't follow that with a question. Make a declaration. Because you just said da-da-da-da. Let me explain. Can you show me where this happened? That's how you do it. You don't just jump to question, hey, please, fill in the blanks for me. I haven't figured out how to go from point A to point B. Come on, man. Thought you were a
say
lawyer.
that every bullet does not need to be analyzed under the Fourth Amendment for excessive force? That's the proposition that
Okay.
you claimed. So where does it say that?
Okay. Right, now hang on a sec. You are now trying to use debate tactics to get out of this. Okay.
That was your contention.
Show me a case. Show me a case. Don't give me that bullshit about show me the contention, okay? It's very clear what the ruling says, okay? If a police officer has authorization to use lethal force, they're allowed to continue to use lethal force until the threat is ended. Therefore, there isn't an individual justification required for each bullet. That's the precedent, okay? Rather than
That's
give me a
not what
fucking bullshit,
wait, can we
rather than give me a bullshit, why don't you
down.
throw some law at me? No, we're not going
Yeah,
to slow down.
we're
We're
gonna
speeding up, bro.
slow
We're
down.
speeding up because
speeding
you
up,
know
bro.
that you're wrong about this.
No.
Okay,
That-
you
no,
know that you're wrong
I know
about
that
this.
I know that I'm right. That's
Sunder, are you still sick? You appear full of energy. I'm working on it. I've been working a lot on like diet recently, so my energy levels are a bit up. I've been a little bit quicker lately as well, and stuff. So I am doing a bit better.
that's why I'm slowing down on Plumhoff.
No,
This is the
no,
case that you
know
brought.
that you're wrong, dude. You are wrong about
I read this case in law school. I know
Sleep is still a wreck, though.
I know it better than you, and we're slowing it
law
down.
enforcement are not. No. We're not slowing it down because you're wrong. You're trying to slow it down because you know that you're wrong, and you're trying to come up with some little trick or tactic, some lawyer strategy, in order to circumvent the fact that I'm
thought
right.
you wanted a
were
serious debate.
stuttering. You
thought-
were stuttering. I'm giving you
I
a
thought
serious
you-
debate.
I
You
thought
were
this was a
stuttering when you
serious
first
debate.
answered. You were stuttering when you first answered, bro, because you don't have an answer to this.
No,
Because you were wrong to say that each shot requires justification.
It does.
That's what you
It does.
claimed in your tweet. That's what you.
It does. Like I want you to think about the opposite claim for a second. Not each shot requires justification. The police don't need justification to shoot. That's really dumb, Chudlogic. If that's the case, that the police don't need justification to shoot you, you're not in a democracy anymore. You're in a dictatorship with a Gestapo. Because that justification for needing to shoot, every single person, every single American citizen that the police kill is a vote that has been deleted. You see the problem here. This is not just a thing where it's like, oh, sometimes daddy has to spank the children, but he still loves them. That's not the bad argument, by the way, but that's not the actual upshot here. The upshot here is you are permissive of essentially white nationalists, by the way, being recruited by a Republican president, being given the ability to open fire on the president's political opponents. That's what you're advocating for. You are literally advocating for brown shirts. That's what those are. Like, he opened by saying, "Oh, apparently I'm a fascist now." It's like, well, no, not apparently. In substance, you are justifying actual fascism, not like, oh, did you know fascists are transphobic too? No, not like that kind of thing. I mean, like, actually full on. Hey, I believe that people with boots and masks should be able to just execute members of the American public at will if they protest the actions of the president. Idiot. Clown, buffoon.
It does. No, and it's true.
It doesn't.
And it's
Incorrect.
true. And
Incorrect.
it's true. And Plumhoff proves it. And I'm about to show you why. So let's stick on Plumhoff. So the fact,
go on. Shoot.
right?
Let's stick on Plumhoff has to be one of the funniest sounding sentences I've ever heard.
The fact that SCOTUS states that it's reasonable.
By the way, I've been completely ruined by my philosophy reading, especially through Peirce. Thanks, Ambrose. Every time I hear SCOTUS, there's a line where what's his face? Who's the really nice guy lawyer who hires Jimmy in Better Call Saul? I can't remember his name. Someone help me. The blonde guy. He gets killed at the end. He talks to Jimmy's brother, and he's like, "Oh, this guy wrote an excellent book on SCOTUS." And my brain always thinks Duns Scotus. Howard, that's it. My brain always thinks Duns Scotus. When I hear SCOTUS, I hear Duns Scotus, like the medieval scholastic philosopher. It's like, I don't know why I needed to explain that.
Use force in the context of the fact pattern of Plumhoff means they're analyzing every bullet, right? The 15 bullets are all being analyzed. Yes or no?
Okay, I'm not playing your fucking
Correct?
I'm sorry. It's just the way he just checked out. You know what? No, I'm not playing your games now.
Is the answer yes? So the fact that they're analyzing it,
I almost DM'd him to warn him, "Hey Chud, just heads up, this isn't gonna go well. I would fold early and I just have a conversation because this is not gonna go well." I almost DM'd him, and then I thought, nah, he's not gonna listen to me anyways.
No, you're not getting me on this, Pisco. You're not going to get me with this. We came from the same fucking dungeon, bro. You're not going to fucking get me on this. You said you need to have a self-defense rationale for these shots.
You do. Yes, you do. The Plumhoff rationale applies to...
Okay, let's assume... Let's analyze this for a second, Chud. Let's assume that you were right, okay? Let's assume that this Plumhoff precedent or whatever actually did establish that the police don't need justification to fire on American citizens. They don't need a self-defense justification to murder American citizens. That's kind of bad, isn't it? Like, maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe you got a sheet of paper saying, "Hey, actually, mate, look, I found a document. The document says the Gestapo's okay." It's like, I didn't know you could read.
So yes.
No. Under Plumhoff, if you're authorized to use force, you shoot until the threat is ended. Therefore, you don't need to justify each bullet fired.
But that requires the threat to be A, established. B, that's also justification for the bullets. That's a justification for the bullets. So when has the threat ended? Well, now you're analyzing every single bullet, the context in which they are fired. You are analyzing specifically, okay, is this bullet fired prior to or after the threat has been neutralized? If it's after, then that's excessive force. That's what it's in excess of. It's no longer meeting the needs of survival and safety. It's additional.
Do you,
simple.
do you understand
You
what?
can disprove me immediately. You can disprove me immediately by showing case law that shows that an officer, as part of their
You just did yourself, Chud. You just did. That's the thing. You just. Oh God, man.
analysis in
You could have talked to anybody before this.
regards to lethal force, okay, has had to account
Queeman could probably have given you some pointers on how to argue this. Queeman has some sense about this kind of thing. This is, dude.
for each instance of shot being fired within one sort of overall force deployment, if that makes sense. You know, one use of lethal force.
I mean, the proposition for that is from Tennessee v. Gardner. It's from Plumhoff itself. It's that
Stop.
Stop.
Tennessee versus Gardner.
Yeah.
How is it from Tennessee versus Gardner? Because that relates to whether or not you're allowed to shoot a fleeing felon. How does that
Oh shit. Oh shit. He's read the law. Oh my God.
relate to Tennessee versus Gardner?
Because they analyzed the Fourth Amendment deadly force principles in that case, and it's one of the most important critical cases. And
why is it critical? Why is it critical? What's the reason it's critical?
According to Queeman, Chud's been in Destiny-esque study sessions just studying on stream for half the week. Yeah, that doesn't work, guys. That just FYI. Here is why you can't just like rapid fire study for a debate and have like an expert level of knowledge on a thing. Okay, I think Destiny's rotted the brains of a whole bunch of people when it comes to how you do research. The reason why people read books and not just Wikipedia articles is not because books are magically better. It's because they are holistic and they are essentially an aesthetic practice in which you are following through a long convoluted curriculum by the author, telling you how to understand a thing in its entirety and how it relates to other things around it. And you are embedded in it. And it has footnotes, and it will invoke references, and it will do things to make sure that you remember the significance of the kinds of things that are taking place. One of the things that Destiny was complaining about after he ruined his physical health and his mind, preparing for that debate with Finkelstein, is that he lost all that information when he stopped memorizing it on flashcards. When he stopped like going over it for the debate, because he wasn't trying to understand the Israel-Palestine conflict. He was trying to assemble quips in his head for a verbal altercation. He never learned anything. He had a bunch of numbers. Oh, they did this first, but because it wasn't connected to anything, the rest of his brain wasn't doing anything to reinforce that knowledge, or wasn't being reinforced by that knowledge. So to keep an eye on the reflection on Chudlogic's glasses throughout this debate?
Because it's one of the first times that SCOTUS has confronted the issue.
Why? Upping the resolution. Why? What am I looking at? I see what looks like a super chat.
And it's where a lot of the
What did they
case laws
decide that was so
developed.
important? No. What did they decide specifically that was so important?
There's a bunch of stuff that was very important in that case.
No,
Are you just trying to quiz me?
No, I'm trying to quiz you because you present yourself as a lawyer, but you don't know what you're talking about, and that's
Oh shit, the erudite treatment.
why you're fucking wriggling. You tell me, what was the primary holding in Tennessee versus Ghana right now, without looking it up? Go.
So, it is that if there is a significant threat to the public, if the officer perceives it from an objectively reasonable perspective, that the use of force is justified if necessary in response to the threat of serious bodily injury or death to the public or to the officers.
So what
Under the
about
Fourth
that
Amendment.
relates? Okay, so what about that relates to the justification for each bullet fired?
Yeah, it's their holding that the use of deadly force as against a person is a seizure under the Fourth Amendment, which must be analyzed. And
Yep,
of
correct.
course, every seizure under the Fourth Amendment must be reasonable.
You can keep buying for time. You can keep buying for
Just
time.
no.
You
Let's.
can, no.
We're just
Keep
gonna
buying
slow
for time
down.
all you want. Explain
We're
to
just,
me.
We're
no,
just gonna
no,
slow down.
No, you know that you're fucked here, bro. You know that I fucking researched this, and you know that you're wrong, and you know that you're right. That's why you're saying slow down.
No.
That's why you're
the
stuttering.
fact that Garner.
You're done.
The
You're
fact
finished.
that Garner.
Explain to me. No. Very specific.
Yeah.
You claim each shot needs individual justification.
Each shot needs individual justification. That's how you determine appropriate force versus excessive force. Why is 17 bullets? What is the difference between 17 bullets and 16 bullets in terms of excessive versus not excessive? He was already down when the 17th one hit him. Sunday ChatGPT. Is that ChatGPT? It looks green. ChatGPT's like black, isn't it?
You refer to Tennessee versus
Yes,
Garner.
yes, yes.
What
I'll
about
tell you-
Tennessee versus Garner
Yes.
says that each individual bullet fired, as you stated, needs deadly force justification? Go.
Because Garner stands for the proposition that the application of deadly force against an individual is a seizure. Every bullet fired is a seizure against an individual. And
No, it's not. That was contested. No, it's not. That's
Yes,
contested. That's
yes,
contested by Plumhoff. That's contested by Plumhoff.
No, it's not.
It is contested by Plumhoff.
Stop.
I think he is using ChatGPT. Maybe he is just like rapidly inputting stuff into like some AI, and he's getting his answers as he goes. I think maybe he's doing that because that's like that's a weird response from a non-lawyer who very clearly has a tenuous grasp of this at best. As a total layperson when it comes to this, like just the stuff that he's saying like contradicts itself.
It is absolutely
This is embarrassing, Chud. You have to let me finish. You have to let me.
Okay, see now Pisco is not doing the "Hey fellow kids" thing. Now he's in his game. Now I'm cringing less. More of this, please.
It's
Finish the
embarrassing.
thought.
You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question.
I am. So your
Everyone
question.
can see it. You're stuttering.
so-
you don't know what you're talking about.
so
and
I am
do,
answering
and
your
you're
question.
Why is he even trying so hard to defend this killing? Because he got isolated from Destiny's Sphere and he got chewed out by leftists. So now his strategy, and self therapy, is to appeal to people on the right. That's why he doesn't believe any of this. He doesn't care.
fucking rape,
So
bro. Okay, go.
Chud.
Like this whole thing he's doing. This is stuff he picked up from people like it's stuff he picked up from chatters. Like this is an online culture thing. He wasn't like this before. This is a persona he puts on because he has no self-confidence. Like it's a self-esteem thing. It's kind of sad actually, because I think he like underneath that there's like a better person there, but it's just gone.
Basically, how is it possible that Garner stands for the proposition that every bullet must be justified? Well, the mere holding that the use of force is a
He's
seizure.
been pro-rate for a while actually. You can trace it exactly back to when a bunch of people in Keffel's orbit started doxing him and calling him a pedophile. You can follow it to there.
In this context, is incorporating the Fourth Amendment. And of course, if the use of deadly force is a seizure and all seizures must be reasonable under the Fourth Amendment, it means all applications of force must be reasonable under the Fourth Amendment, which means all uses of force must be justified, in which case all shots must be justified.
Okay, now Chud's going to argue against the concept of categories.
It's just a logical entailment.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That is contested by Plumhoff. I'll read it again. Okay?
Okay.
Because what Plumhoff says is essentially, to put it simply,
No, read it again.
because you clearly don't know,
Read it again.
shoot until the trigger goes click. If it is determined that force is permissible, you can shoot until the trigger goes click, okay? And as long as, right?
But what if the target is not down and still poses a threat, Chud?
As long as the threat is not dynamically changed within that time. Let me give you an example, okay? Because I clearly know more than this about you. If you shoot someone 5 times and they fall to the floor and they're incapacitated, right? That's likely fine. But if you then went up and fired a 6th shot, the 6th shot would be a separate instance of force because it's, substantively after the first 5 shots, and that would likely be considered excessive.
Right. So what threat is neutralized by firing into Good's vehicle? Because it seemed like the car was still moving, and it seemed like he still had to physically move out of the way, and it seemed like he was able to physically move out of the way, and we know this because we saw him do it on camera. Where's the justification here? He also put himself in front of the vehicle to begin with, and took out his phone at that time, which suggests premeditation. What's the argument here? This is so dumb.
Right? That's what it's referring to. But as in this
You're
case,
just making
if 3
stuff
bullets are
up.
fired,
No, he's not making stuff up. He's plugging stuff into ChatGPT as fast as he can, and it's or something, and it's giving him a response, and he's just rapid fire reading that response.
No, I'm not. If 3 bullets are fired in 1 second, okay, it is highly
They're all
unlikely that'll be
analyzed.
classified. No, okay.
Every single one is analyzed, Chud. Every single one is analyzed. They have to be, like, just from a practical standpoint. Not everybody is there. Like they will have maybe video footage. These are ICE agents, so they in most cases probably wouldn't. And then they'll look at the shots. Like what?
Okay, they might be analysed for... No, listen.
Oh, so you
they might
can
be
see
analysed
they're
for
analyzed.
No, I'm not conceding. No,
you
dude,
can see
you
they're
are bro,
analyzed.
I was warned about you, bro. Dude, you and I both know that you're
just
wrong.
said
That's
it.
what's so funny about this. You know that you're wrong. You know that you're wrong, bro. You know that you're wrong. They might be analysed for a police report, but not legally. From a legal perspective, Plumhoff sets the precedent
What?
that you can fire until the trigger goes click.
No, it's
okay?
it's literally the opposite. So Plumhoff is holding that it's reasonable under the circumstances to fire that many shots. It's not saying we don't analyze the shots. It's saying we analyze them and we assess them as reasonable.
You're trying to find some little trick.
No.
I mean, this is how law works, Chud. There are precedents, and then you use precedents to judge future occurrences. That's how law works.
Original claim. Your original claim was you need to have a self-defense rationale for those shots.
And there is.
That's not true,
Plumhoff,
because you need one self-defense rationale for all 3 bullets, based on Plumhoff.
Notice that Sunday you should make a tier list ranking heinous YouTube politics people based on how fascinating their psychology is, as if they were fictional characters from literature. That's fun. I don't know if I'll do that, but that sounds fun.
And what it says.
So first
it's
off,
that simple.
First off, Plumhoff is not just a self-defense rationale. It's a defense of public rationale. And even putting that aside, Plumhoff isn't saying you don't analyze those shots. What Plumhoff is saying is we've analyzed those shots and we find them to be reasonable. That's why it's so preposterous you're citing it, right? Plumhoff is analyzing every one of the shots, and you're claiming that it's standing for the proposition that you don't analyze the shots.
If lethal force is justified, officers are taught to keep shooting until the threat is over.
Do you think that's responsive to what I just said? You're like you're like Pearl in that debate she just had. She's like,
okay.
what is alimony?
Dude,
what is alimony?
You referenced that debate because you want to throw some fucking red meat to the audience when I heard you got fucking bro. Didn't you officially lose your fucking debate? Is that because you were sick then too?
Yeah,
you're wrong about this.
They did a poll of the MAGA audience, and yeah, I lost the MAGA poll.
Pisco, answer this.
Does Chud think he's like a comedy riot? Like, does he think he's like a super funny guy? This isn't funny. Like, it just looks, it's pathetic. You're like you're pushing 40, dude. Like, we're not talking about someone in their 20s who's like a Dean Withers style debate hack. We're talking about someone pushing 40, and they're still not capable of like sitting down and having a conversation like a normal adult. Like, you put this guy into the room with any professional, and it's like an overgrown child.
And this question alone, okay? It's your turn to answer a fucking question.
All I've been doing is answering your questions.
Cite me relevant case law where it's a similar circumstance, multiple bullets fired within a matter of seconds, and that has been determinant on whether or not force is reasonable.
I don't have a on-point fact pattern from the perspective of, you know,
Wait, what did he ask? Hang on.
Relevant case law where it's a similar circumstance, multiple bullets fired within a matter of seconds, and that has been determinant on whether or not force is reasonable.
That's never determinant on whether force is reasonable. That doesn't determine whether force is reasonable. That is the force. The question is whether those bullets were reasonable. Like, that is the force. You're asking. Your question eats itself. That makes no sense. The question is not whether firing multiple bullets determines whether or not firing multiple bullets is an acceptable deployment of force. Not deployment of force. What's the frickin' word? My brain's not working. The circumstance determines whether the force was appropriate. Appropriate, that's the word. The circumstance determines whether that was an appropriate level of force. Namely, like, did the person fall down? Was there a threat that could only be averted by that amount of force? Could the person who was firing be reasonably expected to think that that was a reasonable amount of force to use? That was appropriate. That's how that works. Dude.
I don't have a on-point fact pattern from the perspective
use of force, thank you.
Of a appellate
so
court
you don't
or
have
something.
any relevant case law. Just to be clear, precedent is against you. As much as you say,
no, not precedent is against you. The thing you're talking about is just not relevant to this debate, Chad. It only, like, even in reading it, you're just reconfirming your opponent's position.
You're wrong.
No.
You don't have any relevant information to back up the idea that each individual bullet gets analyzed.
Wait, no. That I just proved and dunked on you.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't.
Pronounces dunked in a weird way. He dunked. I dunked on you, Russian agent.
Exist.
That's a different thing. That's a different thing than what you just asked
on me
for.
as much as you want, bro. It's not fucking working, dude.
No, wait,
People
so-
can see through you.
So-
You're stuttering.
in
You're weak.
Plumhoff-
You haven't got any fucking examples, okay?
In Plumhoff,
You will not win this war, dude. You will not win. You know that you're fucking wrong. You know.
I think like every single person in Chud's circle is like, what the fuck, dude, with this. I think everybody is like turning him on him over this. I think his editor was like, his editor came on because we watched that, and his editor was like, what are you doing, dude?
You know you've been speaking out of school, okay? You know that you don't know as much about.
why don't we just have a
self-defense as you claim
debate?
to.
Why don't we just have the debate?
Because I'm fucking sick.
Because he's trying to play a character because he has no self-esteem. It's like he's playing a character. But he's been playing the character for so long, he can't do anything else. You are what you eat. At a certain point... This is why I've basically stayed the same, by the way, for however long I've been on here. Like, I've internalized, like, certain, like, conversational measures. I've gotten more confident in some areas. Gotten less confident in some areas. And I hope I've gotten smarter, but I've basically been the same person, because I'm not putting on an act. When you put on an act, and this is all you're doing... Like, it becomes you at a certain point. By the way, I hope that shower sound is not too loud for you guys. Like, at a certain point, the mask becomes your face. And I think that's where Chud's at right now. Because, like, I don't think he has it in him to, like, just talk like he's talking to a normal person.
Of people
you're
saying
sick now.
things that aren't true.
I was making
Yeah,
excuses.
I'm sick. Yeah, people saying things that aren't true. Okay, and then they come on and they can't back it up, and you're using.
Remember
all
when
these
Logan
weasel
Paul?
tactics.
Remember when
And
Logan
I
Paul
know that you're
boxed?
bullshit.
Remember
because
when
I've
Logan
read
Paul?
about this.
Remember when Logan Paul boxed
Pisco, stop trying to joke. They're not funny.
that like one guy who like pretty much gave up the fight by
You're winning. You're winning. Stop trying to... Don't try to do quips.
like doing illegal stuff in the boxing arena. I forget, and like he went after his girl or whatever. You're kind of that guy. You're just
Does
like
Chud even know ISIS is not the cops? No, he doesn't know anything. He literally knows nothing. Like, he's just been rotting his brain doing drama shit for years. He doesn't know anything. He stopped learning stuff, and it's just sad.
doing a DQ right now. And
He
just
stopped
like
learning stuff, and now a big part of the world, a major part of his audience is moving on. And he doesn't know what to do. Because it's like he hasn't grown. And all of the years he's been doing this, he's only been repeating the same behaviors that got him like positive feedback. And now that it no longer does, he doesn't know what to do. Because he has no identity. That's one of the problems with letting... It's one of the problems with letting like the wrongs other people do to you, like, change who you are, is from now on, they're still pulling your strings from the grave. It doesn't matter how far back they are. This is all a coping mechanism for being bullied by leftists around Vosh and Keffels. That's fundamentally what this is. Hey, Shai Hulud, haven't seen you in a while.
like making the conversation impossible because you know you're gonna get blown the fuck out. Your initial point.
Explain to me how you blow me the fuck out. Explain
Yeah,
to me.
'cause you're-
Explain to me how each bullet is going to be analysed in the shooting.
You
Go.
started with the notion that it's possible for you to like
Never stutter.
to sandbag me with cases as though I haven't heard of Plumhoff or whatever. And
Drama streaming is down. Drama streaming is down because it's incestuous. Because all of the big channels have gotten so big that they're scared of engaging with each other seriously, so they cloister away. And they hide from conflict, because every single time there's a conflict, that's an opportunity to embarrass themselves. And they know they're dumb. These people are really dumb. Willie Mack, really dumb. And I remember him calling the police on Destiny with like the dramatic like face like, yes, officer. Like, these people are dumb. Dumb as rocks. Like Asmongold level dumb, but less successful. That's where they're at. So they get successful by luck. They're the few that survive, and they hide. They immediately put up the walls, and they're in a fortress. And they never grow. They just get softer and softer and more afraid. And as a result, all of the field is barren. Because drama only works when there is conflict. And if everybody with viewership is avoiding conflict, it's like, okay. And what you'll notice is that drama has changed from like, oh, this big person did something crazy and they're going nuts and stuff like that. Now it's, oh, look at this little 13 viewer Andy over here, who's trying to get attention. It's like, yeah, of course they're being crazy. These are talentless losers who are trying to get attention. That's what you do when you're a talentless loser, is you try to get attention. You try to, like, cheat your way up because you're a loser. What you could do is, like, try to be useful, like, learn to not be a loser. You're not a loser just because you don't have money. Like, a lot of really talented, really smart, really valuable people don't have money and are struggling. You're a loser when your only goal is to make money and you don't have anything to justify it. So you just make a bunch of noise and hope that if you tear a big enough hole, money just sort of pours in.
As though that Plumhoff stands for the proposition that you don't analyze every shot, when what Plumhoff was doing in responding to the lawsuit by petitioner was specifically to analyze their contention that each of the shots wasn't justified. And what Plumhoff stands for is you analyze them, right? Plumhoff is holding they're reasonable. It's not holding you don't analyze them. And that's what's so fucking funny is you cited a case that's the opposite.
Them under one umbrella of use of force, which is exactly how it would be determined in the ICE case. Those
No? What? The issue with the ICE case has nothing to do with how many bullets were fired. The issue has to do with whether he was justified in firing at all. That's the issue with the ICE case. Because if the vehicle was indeed driving directly towards him, and he unloaded 7 times as many bullets as he had, like in that Naked Gun, is Naked Weapon, Naked Gun, that spoof movie scene where there's a Zamboni going towards this guard, and he's like, get out of the way, and he's just like 20 feet away, he's just screaming, ah! He's got his gun out, ah! Like that. Like, if he fired 100 times that many shots, the car would not stop. Naked Gun, thank you. The car would not stop. If he fired 1,000 times as many shots, well, I mean, the car might disintegrate at that point, but like, if the car was actually going directly towards him, Deadpool, there's a scene like that in Deadpool, but he's chasing a guy who's already down with a Zamboni, that one. But like, if the vehicle was going directly for him, if she was deliberately driving it, cackling like a maniac as she went, ah! Okay, shooting her would not stop the vehicle. There's still a body on top of the gas. So, is that an appropriate use of force? No, because it doesn't achieve anything. It doesn't neutralize a threat. Therefore, it's not reasonable as a self-defense measure. Now, if the person in the car had a weapon and was firing at the ICE agent, well, you got a different story there. Because now, firing back might neutralize the gun, right? So there would arguably would be, under those conditions, like a self-defense argument to be made. But that didn't happen. Instead, we see the ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, demonstrate that he could just prance out of the way, and that by shooting at Renee Good, he did not stop the vehicle. He just sent it off to drive into the public without anybody at the wheel. Dumb.
3 bullets would be considered one use of force.
Oh no, but there's distinguishing factors which would, in my opinion, lead to a different result in this case than in Plumhoff. I think Plumhoff helps my position.
Distinguishing factor? How is it distinguishing factor? Those 15 rounds are fired in 10 seconds. This is 3 rounds fired in 1 second.
Yeah, so the reason why it's different is the rationale in Plumhoff had to do with public safety after a fuckered chase, which was which put the lives of innocent bystanders. It's completely relevant.
Because
the threat
this
there
is a separate decision that they're making within this decision that specifically talks
what
about.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Shot.
You don't know shit. What do you mean a separate decision within the decision? What are you saying?
Because they're saying here, if lethal force is justified, officers are taught to keep shooting until the threat is over.
Right.
Okay?
That proves my point. Right. So that would.
No, it doesn't prove
that would
point.
stand
You're
to
lying
reason.
and claiming it does.
That would stand to. So all right. So let's talk about.
Have you litigated any self-defense?
I've never litigated any self-defense cases before. Doesn't matter. I'm not claiming I have. I'm not throwing around my credentials. I'm just saying you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, you do throw around your
credentials.
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
You absolutely do.
I put it in my bio.
You're known as the lawyer guy. You're known as the fucking fucking lawyer guy and you go on Twitter and you argue about this with people.
I don't
try and
say
cite
you should
stuff and
believe
bring
me
back
because
up.
I'm a lawyer. You should believe me because I litigated self-defense cases. Okay, it's preposterous. That's not what I claim at
Okay,
all.
do you
But
think people think of you as a lawyer?
Can we
You're
actually have a
referenced as a
serious
lawyer.
conversation? Yeah, people do think that.
I'm willing
People-
to have a serious conversation, but you're not willing to admit you were wrong because you'd look terrible, and you'd have to admit you were doing
No,
it because you're politically motivated.
so-
That's the reality.
Okay, you can claim that, whatever. But let's just do the fucking conversation, okay? So, in this case, right, the fact that you're citing Plumhoff, which states you're allowed to shoot while the qualifying threat persists, yeah, that's my point. That when the threat is over, you're not allowed to shoot, right? That's what it implies.
Yeah.
The fact that you're able to shoot while the threat persists means you're not able to shoot when the threat doesn't persist, correct?
Yep.
I mean, that doesn't actually logically follow, but yes, that is correct.
All right. My contention is A, that there was never a qualifying threat, and B, even if there was, the use of force wasn't reasonably necessary, and C, even if it was, at the time the threat is over, the shots aren't justified, the later shots. And so on all scores, that standard, I think, is in my favor.
Okay. So we can look at that, right?
Why is this the angle that Chud's taking? This is such a stupid angle, because, like, at best this gets you to, well, we can conceive of a situation in which this would be okay. All right, but we haven't actually gotten to any of, like, the actual on-the-ground facts of the case. We haven't actually tied this into how it's relevant to the case.
Yeah.
But you originally claimed, right, that you need to have a self-defense rationale for these shots.
Yes.
So you're saying that each individual shot would need to be analyzed as a separate instance of self-defense, correct?
Separate instant. All the shots need to be justified. That's the point. They're all related.
Okay.
They're related because it's a totality of circumstances analysis. I'm not saying you ignore the context and the previous shots. That's not what I'm saying.
What you seem to be claiming is that the ICE officer was able to discern that the threat had meaningfully changed once the car was past him.
Yes.
And that's why he should have stopped firing.
Easily, yeah. Easily. Yes.
Okay, that is an absolutely insane position. It happened within 1 second.
Yeah,
the 3 shots were fired in 1 second.
So the human reaction time in observing of threats is faster than that. It's faster than a second. Did you know that?
So are you seriously
No.
trying to argue, bro?
Yes, it's faster than a second.
Hey, you are so terrible at this, dude. Are you seriously trying to argue that the officer in 1 second could determine
Yes.
that the car had gone past him and stopped firing?
Yes, I don't.
No, we don't have to, because I think something that does happen when you're focused on a particular action is you don't react spontaneously in the same way as you would if his intention was not to fire at this person in advance, if it wasn't premeditated. So cops are trained, varying levels of success, to draw their weapons under certain conditions and not draw them under others. ICE agents, by contrast, are not. Rather famously right now, ICE agents are not even required to be basically literate to get those jobs. This person, you can see from the footage, he took out his phone when there was no threat. He was in his own vehicle. He took out his phone, started recording. And then, after being insulted by the wife of his victim, he changed hands. So his phone's in his right hand, he changes it to his left hand, and then walks around the car with the phone aimed at the car. Okay? And he does this to free his hand for his firearm. At a time, and this began when he was several steps away from the vehicle. He had to walk in front of it. He chose to walk in front of the vehicle, which is what you were trained not to do as a cop. And there are several reasons for this. Among others, walking in front of a vehicle is a great way to get run over by a vehicle. Second is the government doesn't actually want, or didn't actually want until relatively recently, their police officers contriving excuses to kill American citizens. Because that's what that is. There have been several cases of this where some like gung-ho mall cop with delusions of grandeur will step in front of a vehicle in order to justify using their weapon because they are so horny to pull their gun out, because it makes them feel big. There have been some really horrible cases of that in the last few years. Actually, there was one outside of a Rona where this guy and his wife were coming to, like, he had an arrangement with the Rona store and he would pick up their used pallets that they were getting rid of. They were junked pallets they were going to get rid of, and he had an agreement with the manager that he would just pick up the pallets and take them and do something with them. I think he was like reselling them or something, maybe like doing mild repairs and reselling them. I don't know. But this private security company that the Rona was hiring had a dipshit working for them who brought his own weapons, and he really liked the idea of being a cop. So he had a vest on, he had all this stuff. And he approached this guy in the parking lot. He didn't like this guy trespassing on his turf, you see, even though he was allowed to be there. And so he walked in front of his truck after the guy flipped him off. And then when the guy started driving, not towards him, by the way, when the guy started driving, he moved in front of the vehicle and then opened fire through his windshield. And he killed this guy in front of his wife. He's now in jail for life. You can see his you can see it on YouTube. His sentencing. That's who these people are. What Chudlogic is defending is, it's perfectly fine if Trump hires like thousands of hooligans with no basic literacy, no experience, just pumps them out really quickly and just deploys them into the middle of nowhere to just go harass protesters. And yeah, it's totally fine if they just shoot people, they just shoot parents. And that's what's disgusting about this. Chudlogic is a parent. Like, Chudlogic knows what it means to just orphan your kids, right? To just have your kids be orphaned because some nutball really wanted to be an action hero. Why is Pisco debating a quartering lookalike? What's the quartering's position been on this? Is even better? I know Tucker Carlson had a better position on this. Imagine going from like, well, if you're against hormones for trans kids, then you're in favor of dead kids. Imagine going from that to having a worse position on one of the most naked abuses of power in American history than fucking Tucker Carlson. Imagine that Tucker Carlson is a better human than you.
I don't know if you're like very slow and you take a second to react to everything. You take it's not ridiculous.
It's not just a second to react. It's to identify and notice that the threat is past him, and then to cease firing.
Yes, you can do that in less than a second. Do you think you can't? Are you a human being? Do you live in the world? Have you ever?
I mean, no. Look at him.
Neo'd out of the way or something.
Even if I do not agree that it's possible to do that.
When you say it's not possible, you mean it's literally not possible.
I'm not doing this game with you. I'm not doing this.
It's not possible to react to something in less than a second. Are you fucking stupid?
I'm not doing this debate.
Are you fucking stupid?
Okay, bro, you're the one that's stupid because you know how insane this sounds, but you're backed into a position that you have to defend because of political reasons, so you can't back down now.
I really don't think that's it, Chad.
Absolutely not.
I think he picked this debate because you're easy prey.
Away, there is absolutely. Well, I'm making the case because you made a knee-jerk reaction. You said something which isn't true, clearly motivated by your bias. It's fucking obvious, dude. But anyway, here's the thing: even if you could argue that you could meaningfully change your kind of perception of the threat, okay, or analyze the perception of the threat to stop shooting, to expect a police officer to do that in 1 second in a high-tense, high-pressure situation is fucking insane.
Why?
Okay, and it's not something...
Why?
Because the high-pressure situation has a negative impact on your ability as a human being to assess, to change, okay? And in fact, the Supreme Court agrees, and they give deference to officers making split-second decisions.
So yeah, I know there's dicta in Gardner that says, we shouldn't use 20/20 hindsight, and we shouldn't forget that there's like these are
you know how long a second is, Chud, right? Like a second is not like the smallest sliver of time. A second is like people react to stuff that quickly all the time.
It's actually Graham versus Connor that states this as well.
Okay.
And it says, and I'll quote,
he's finding this like in real time. It's magical almost.
The calculus of reasonableness must embody allowance for the fact that police officers are often forced to make split-second judgments in circumstances that are tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving about the amount of force that is necessary in a particular situation. So they're saying that if someone makes a split-second decision, we'll give deference for that. But you're saying,
oh my God, no, that it being a split-second decision does not make it reasonable. That's not how this works. It being a split-second decision impacts how you judge, for example, someone reacting to something that presents as a threat, right? Because the presentation of the thing was fast enough that their interpretation, if they are wrong, for example, like if they think that someone's pulling a weapon but it's actually a toy, they don't necessarily have the time to recognize that it's a toy, because if they're wrong, they will get shot before then, right? That would be an example of this. There is never a case where firing into a vehicle when the only threat is the vehicle is acceptable, period, full stop.
For a Supreme Court precedent, I think in a second an officer can determine it.
Your Honor, in my defense, the brown child had an AK. There was a famous case. There's a famous case of a kid being killed in the park because he had a toy gun.
It doesn't say we give deference. It says we should keep in mind that when we're analyzing using the objective reasonability test, that like it's easy to sit and Monday morning quarterback, but you can't forget, and you have to include the fact that it's split second decisions and that we're operating with hindsight.
I mean, I would deny that there was any split second decision at all. This seemed like, to my eyes, this seemed very premeditated. This person contrived a situation and made sure to film it from an angle that he could then present later on, and he did present it later on. Because here's something else too. ICE doesn't like being recorded. ICE doesn't tend to record what they do. They will record themselves like for headsets, like these sick little like reels. They'll record themselves like capturing people, right? You get these really high quality videos of them like just dragging some like sad looking Hispanic guy away. But they don't like being recorded when they are engaging in altercations involving white people, shall we say. They don't like recording those. So when an ICE agent records something willingly, that's interesting.
And to just keep that into consideration. But it doesn't say we defer to whatever cops do within a second, and you get a free second window of fun time whenever something happens. Like, that's not what they're saying there. You're overstating that. And it's also a dicta, by the way.
I'm not overstating that at all.
Yes, you are.
I'm not overstating that at all. No, I'm not. You're claiming that. You don't actually know that. You're just saying that because you've got some credentials that you're trying to throw around to impress your fucking audience, okay?
I'm not...
But it's absolutely insane to think, with all of that taken together, that a police officer could be expected to establish that after firing between the first shot and the third shot, right? And it's less than a second as well.
None of the shots are just like, can we give some structure to this debate? I don't know why you're immune to that. Why don't we analyze it shot by shot? I mean, why don't we start with the first shot?
No. Because you don't need to analyze it shot by shot. You can literally just look at the first shot, and if that is justified, all are justified. It's that simple.
If the first shot is justified, all of them are justified? What? Before you were saying it was the opposite. It depends on the circumstance. Is the person down or not? That means that it's the last shot that has to be justified, Chud. And that doesn't actually necessarily go backwards, because maybe the first one wasn't, but then you instigated an altercation in which someone was firing back at you, and so now you had to neutralize a threat. They also aren't cops, by the way. Just a friendly reminder, ICE are not police. They have no authority over your movement as American citizens unless you are impeding them. If you are in the middle of a public street in your vehicle and they ain't chasing a guy that they have determined to be an illegal immigrant, and you aren't directly in their path, they don't have the right to do anything to you because you're American citizens and they're fucking border control. They are not law enforcement. They are civil enforcement.
Simple.
Well, I don't think that that's true. I think I've shown why that's not the case. But I'm happy to analyze.
What case laws existed where they have to individually justify each bullet one by one?
No, I'm not saying that you hermetically seal each analysis. I'm not saying that you don't consider the other bullets or the amount of time between the shots. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you.
But surely, right? So, right. Have you watched body cams before?
Yeah.
That's not a body camera, you idiot. It was a cell phone.
Okay, so there's lots of body cams where they fire like 15 bullets in quick succession.
Yeah, but you know what happens afterwards, and this is the difference between ICE and cops. When the body cams show them firing bullets in quick succession, and the bullets stop firing, they call it in. Then they render aid. That's what happens. Well, I mean, don't really render aid. Typically, they just handcuff the guy while he's bleeding out. But it's a body cam. It's on their body. It's not a cell phone. But B, you'll see them call it in afterwards because they aren't just hooligans, just out with weapons.
Right?
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that in mind, right, do you not think it's absurd that we don't have more cases where there's more, questioning of lethal force, where an officer is expected to say, this is why I fired the first bullet, the second bullet, the third bullet, the fourth bullet, etc., from a legal perspective?
So that's what happened in the Chauvin case, is they analyzed the application of force throughout
Lisa, pick your battles.
the
Wait,
throughout the whole time. Yeah.
Go on.
So
this is ridiculous. So I'll let you continue because it's insane. Go on.
I'm just telling you.
Thank you for that informative interjection, Chud.
The jury instructions were. I'm just telling you what they argued and what was important in that case is not just to analyze.
They certainly don't restrict aid. American cops, Resi. I don't know about that. But at the very least, they're cops. At the very least, they have a right to be there and they have a right to engage the suspect. The ICE agent doesn't have the right to engage the suspect. So when the ICE agent is deterring people from rendering aid, they're just some guy. For all intents and purposes, they are just some guy who is now barring an American citizen from getting aid. But police will absolutely prevent people from getting aid sometimes. I saw footage recently of this homeless guy who approached a cop with a knife, and he was shot. And one of the guys who was arresting him just jumped on top of him, just like smashed him with his weapon. He was already subdued. And it's like, okay. And the cop who fired is like, hey, stop, whoa. So
Analyze the initial application.
like American cops, to be clear, American cops can be pretty bad. There is the question of legitimacy here. The problem here is that American cops, at the very least, once again, their relationship to the state and to the public and to the law is such that they are at least the appropriate body to be engaging suspects. ICE agents are not authorized to detain American citizens except in the rare occasion they are directly impeding their investigation and their capture of a suspect.
Of force as against George Floyd, but throughout the duration of the hold. And one of the arguments, I thought the most compelling arguments from the prosecution was it couldn't have been justified to continue to use the force that they used on George Floyd's body when he stopped breathing. And so it is the case that throughout the continuation of force, at every moment it needs to be justified. There are cases standing for that proposition. Like as I sit here,
okay, wait, stop. Okay. Can you think? I'm going to ask you. You're a smart guy.
I thought you said he was stupid before.
Can you think of any differences between the ICE shooting and George Floyd's murder?
Of course I can. Of course
I can think of a difference. George Floyd was resisting arrest by a cop. So a lot of fuckers on the right, at the very least, had the legitimacy of the police as an institution to lean on. You don't even have that here. This is an ICE agent. This isn't a cop. We're not talking about whether or not the force is excessive. We're talking about whether he had the right to use it at all. Like, if Chauvin had gotten off of Floyd and allowed him to survive but still injured him, we would be having a question about the excessive use of force by a police officer. We wouldn't be talking about whether or not he had the right to arrest him. We wouldn't be talking about whether or not he had the right to subdue him. It would be a question of, did he have the right to use that much force for that long? In this case, there's no room for that argument. This is why the federal this is why it's not being investigated, because there's no way to investigate this and not find that the entire administration has been just lying through their teeth to their brain damaged supporters about what actually went down.
Of course I can. I'm just
go on.
Don't get triggered. I'm just telling you that.
I'm not triggered because you're pointing out these Supreme Court precedents have got all these differences, but you're trying to compare George Floyd, where a man was strangled to death for 7 minutes, to 3 bullets being fired in 1 second.
He wasn't strangled to death. He had his neck knelt on and his crushed. It wasn't strangling. It's a little bit different. That's not how strangling works. Strangling was what happened to that poor guy on the bus who was held down by that guy. I think his last name was Penny. That homeless guy who was having an episode. He was raving on the subway. I think it was a subway actually. And this guy just like put him in a lock and just held him there till he died.
When we're talking about assessing and changing use of force in response to what we're seeing.
Have you ever seen the movie Stand and Deliver?
I don't care about stand and deliver. Don't give a fuck. Answer my question.
The reason is because I'm like a teacher right now. I'm trying to reach these kids.
Have you seen Marvel movies? Have you seen Marvel movies, bro?
I'm trying to reach you.
Bro,
I'm trying to reach you.
Carl should have submitted to the mob. What do you reckon?
I think Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have put himself into a situation where he would likely have to use the firearm that he brought with him over state lines in order to kill people. I think Kyle Rittenhouse did a slightly more nuanced version of what this ICE agent did by putting himself in front of the car. He was trying to contrive a situation in which he'd get to be a hero and use his firearm on the public. That's what happened. After he's being pursued? No, again, Kyle Rittenhouse, better example. Kyle Rittenhouse is more justification. Kyle Rittenhouse was being attacked by people with weapons. Kyle Rittenhouse was being pursued. Kyle Rittenhouse has a self-defense justification. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't make somebody chase him down and try to attack him. Kyle Rittenhouse put himself into a situation in which he suspected very strongly somebody would, so he'd get the opportunity to use his weapon. At the point where he's being pursued, yeah, you can't tell him to die. Like you can't tell Kyle Rittenhouse to go like, well, you know, you made your bed, time to lie in it. It's like, well, no, that's not how it works. Kyle Rittenhouse had more justification by an order of magnitude than Jonathan Ross did.
I've seen a Marvel movie where that happens.
Yeah,
you get
so
that one? Remember that one?
I don't know what you're talking about. What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about referencing movies? Why are you not citing law?
I'm trying to.
Chauvin. Go back to Chauvin. Explain. Go back to Chauvin. I don't care about the movies.
I absolutely will. No,
because
because
go to a fucking movie review site or watch
if you're gonna be if you're gonna be snarky, I'm gonna be snarky back. And the reason I'm bringing up Chauvin isn't to.
Can we remove snarky from the vocabulary? It's like it's embarrassing listening to these grown men talking about how it's terrible that people are snarking each other. Like snarking, really? Don't take that tone with me, young man. Like fuck off.
Like, I don't know, mind fuck you. It's because I think you're low IQ, and I'm trying to bring up. I'm trying to bring up cases that are I'm trying to bring up cases.
Anyone that knows about this, I'm trying to bring. I'm right.
I'm trying to bring up cases.
In comparison, you thought you'd fucking roll me like you did with Hutch. Hutch is a fucking retard, bro, and didn't look into it.
He's rolling you, dude.
But I did.
What the fuck are you talking about? Hutch is my boy.
Shit, bro.
Don't talk shit about Hutch. Don't talk shit about Hutch. Seriously.
Too late, I did. He's a fucking retard. Continue.
Why would you say that? That's fucked up. Anyway, the reason I brought up the Chauvin case wasn't to say that it's the same fucking case. It's for the discrete point that every use of force needs to be.
It's not even really the case that Pisco rolled him. Pisco's not actually performing super great in this. It's Chud rolled himself. He rolled himself. Like Pisco doesn't need to do anything.
Analyzed across all of its application. That's what they were doing in the Chauvin case. They were analyzing the use of force across the entirety of the application of force. I'm not citing it for anything else. It's just an evocative example that low IQ people can understand because the case is famous.
And one of the reasons, right, it's likely that wasn't considered reasonable is because it happened over 7.
Shaney, what are you posting that you're getting auto-modded? Nobody else is getting auto-modded. Nobody else is getting like timed out. I don't know what you're doing.
7 minutes, and there was multiple inputs of information that added to the totality of circumstances that undermined Chauvin's case.
No, but I'm not citing. No,
this happened in 1 second.
I'm not citing
the precedent of split-second decisions. Okay, the court accounts for that when they're assessing totality of circumstances.
No, of course, I'm not citing it for the proposition that it's on all fours with this case. I'm just citing it for the proposition that the application of force is justified every time it's applied. You don't stop analyzing it just because in a previous second it may have been justified, even assuming it was. You analyze all.
And the Supreme Court give some weight towards split-second decisions made
in Plumhoff. They're analyzing every shot now.
I wish I could call to stream this.
Now, every shot has the same results. They find them all as reasonable, but they don't just ignore the
No, no, no.
calculus.
They didn't. They didn't do that. They didn't look at each shot and find it reasonable, right? They looked at all the shots and they said, "We're going to consider all of it reasonable as part of one use of force. We don't need to look at each bullet individually."
No, that's
wrong about this. And that's why there's no case law that backs you up, because
That's not true.
is
But
the law of the land.
that's not true. But that's not true.
It.
That's not true. But we can go into the first shot, right? So, and I think that's a nice approach, is to go into the first shot and see what's good. So it's my contention both that the first shot, there was not a qualifying threat, in that there wasn't a serious and imminent threat of serious bodily injury to the officer in the case, using the totality of circumstances.
Again? How did you describe it? What did you describe it again?
So I'm using the Supreme Court standards as expounded by the Minnesota Supreme Court.
Yeah, Sheeny, don't post stupid stuff like that. You're gonna get banned. Don't do that. Come on.
Which again, citing Gardner, relates to whether or not a threat is imminent and involves a serious threat of serious bodily injury or death. Do you disagree with that?
Well, I mean, I just think that if I put it really simply,
He didn't follow what you were saying.
without these lawyer terms, okay.
He didn't follow what Pisco was saying.
Okay. Gotta know all these law terms. I've actually
Because he's not paying attention. He's just scanning ChatGPT or whatever.
this, okay? Oh, by the way, mate, I know we're having a bit of a back and forth debate. I've got a great idea for a show for us if you're interested.
I really don't think he is, Chud. Chud, what are you doing, buddy?
All right.
Is that something you're open to?
Well, I'm open to all propositions that you might have from each other.
All right. Imagine the vision. Let's just say this, right? Imagine the vision. You and me both watch body cam videos together, and we come at it from our different perspectives to make
None of these are. I hope Pisco points out that these aren't body cam images.
analysis of the use of force. Wouldn't that be fucking insane content, bro?
I think it would be insane. Let me think about it, because listen, this is a lot of fun, but I'll think about it. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, we can. I guess we can watch the video. I mean,
Halfway through our debate,
Is that all this was? He's just pitching something because his channel's going under?
Chud offered me to do a show with him.
Yeah, dude, I think it would be insane content, bro. I think we have a great
But
band.
not for him. Pisco's doing okay view-wise. You're doing terribly. What are his views at right now? He's not doing so hot. So when I look at Chudlogic's channel here, what do we got here? We got 4.5, 6.7. That's not bad. 6, 4.4, 7.3, 7.99 days ago. You're struggling to break 8K. Struggling. Whereas before you have multiple videos here. Hey, that's me. You have multiple videos here. I didn't realize I was in the top 5. You have multiple videos here. By the way, friendly reminder. See that right there? My hairline's not receding. It's just always like that. It's horrifying, isn't it? It looks terrible right now. I gotta get a haircut. But I digress. You stopped breaking big numbers a year ago. 8 months ago, Pirate Software crashing out, 72,000 views, and then everything else is just down. Because everything up here is I don't think anything here is from... Oh, here we go. This one's from 6 months ago. Helldivers 2 dev trashes Pirate Software. So the Pirate Software stuff did okay. But then after that, it's just dead. When we do latest here, it's none of these are coming close. These aren't even in the ballpark. It's not just that they're failing to meet the highest. It's we're going months back now, and we're not breaking 30,000 views on anything. Sometimes you're lucky to get 20,000, but and that may seem like a lot. For my channel, it'd be a lot. My channel doesn't do numbers like that right now. But you got to remember, when your income goes up, when your channel revenue and your views go up, you adjust your lifestyle to accommodate that. And it's very easy. It's very easy to cross the threshold where it's oh, I think I can afford this apartment now. I think I can afford this food now, this car, whatever. Than it is to go back. Because now you have expectations. Now you're attached to these things, and going down is very difficult. Going down in your rent is borderline impossible. Rent's always going up. So it's your way of life now is dependent on a particular level of consistency. And he's putting thumbnails like this up Like, this is desperation. This is sheer desperation. And it's like the market's saturated with this stuff. It doesn't work anymore. And we're doing freaking Aiden content. We're doing Aiden content. Like, look at this. This isn't big. Nobody cares about this. Like, who are these people? And it's just like, look, mate, there's a gay person. That's your content now. Like, it's lame. It's lame.
Answer here, even though I'm getting a bit testy, and you're keeping your cool, okay? But you're a bit stuttery. You're
Thank you for the membership, Govan.
a bit stuttery.
I
okay?
am,
I don't
'cause
think you're expecting me to prepare for this, so I think
Listen, I have 1 HP, but I think so far I'm doing great. And
Okay.
I think I'm impressed that you studied your case law, and so that's impressive. I give you your flowers. I think you prepared. I don't think it's doing you much good, but I do think it shows that you took an interest and that you took the time to get prepared. So why don't we do the first shot?
Okay, let's do the first shot. I tell you what, bro. Okay, right? I'll let you take control of the wheel, so to
Yeah.
speak. Okay, I'll be the ice agent. Come on,
That's very magnanimous of you. Very magnanimous. All right. So
right. You bring up the clip, and we'll talk through it.
Bring
So
up the
just
clip.
before we get to that, though, right? Would we? I'm sure you would agree with me, as it's based on the objective reasonableness of the officer's eyes. The mobile phone footage would be the best thing to analyze in order to establish.
yeah, we can use that. We can use anything you want. Yeah, we can use that. I think that
Do you have the clips to hand?
No. Do you mind bringing it up? I don't have it. Then I'm sick.
Okay. Sorry, bro. I've got it. I'll send it to you. Okay. How many times have you watched this, by the way, dude?
Enough. I don't know how many.
I've probably watched this about 50 times. I've actually gone insane over it, to be honest.
Yeah, you've gone insane over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that? I just need to do something. You want me to share through Discord, right?
Keep your clothes on, guys. This is YouTube.
Share through Discord, and you talk me through your logic with it, and we'll go from there, okay?
This. Share this. One second. How the fuck do I do this? Okay, share screen. Share.
Here we go.
I gotta like get rid of this Farquaad here.
we
What
go.
the frick is going on over here? This is driving me nuts.
Let me just make sure.
Let's go.
You
Getting a haircut tomorrow. This
See, one
is
sec.
it's time. It's time. This is terrible.
Source.
This did not grow out nicely.
Okay, buddy. Let's see what we got. Come on. In fact, let's be a bit more reverent here, because this is pretty fucked up what happened. Can we just say this is a
Yeah.
fucked up thing that happened, okay?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude. Jesus. Okay.
Want me to unmute? I'll unmute.
Yep, sure.
Okay, it moves in front of the vehicle.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
That's the first point of relevance here.
Yeah.
Her demeanor. I think it's. I don't think it's dispositive, by which I don't think it resolves the case. I don't think. That
Okay, before we do this,
Yeah.
can you just remind me of the 3 gram factors?
What?
It's not a test like that. It's not a 3 gram test. It's a morass test. It's like a
No,
Gestalt
hang on a
test.
sec. Wait. Okay, you're a bit off the mark there, because
I'm
the
not.
3 gram factors tend to be the most important factors when analyzing these.
No-
Well, just
What AI system is he using to generate these responses? This is weird.
tell me what they are. If you know, you must know them. So just tell me what they are.
There's no such thing as the 3 gram factors. I'm telling you, the court specifically rejected
No.
that kind of distillation of the test. The test is objective
Okay.
reasonableness.
So you're saying there's no such thing as the 3 gram factors?
I'm saying that it's a
Understanding this
misnomer to think that it's like a 3-part test. It's the
No, wait a second. You're misunderstanding. I'm not saying it is a 3-part test, i.e. those are the only 3 things you can look at,
yeah.
right? But they are specifically cited in the precedent as 3 things to consider alongside other things. So can you just tell me what they are?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what you're referencing. It's possible that the reference relates to, reasonable necessity, the use of force, whether or not there's a threat of imminent serious bodily injury or death. And
Are you reading this, by the way? Are
No,
you reading this?
my hands are right here. I'm looking at my chat.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're getting it from your chat. Got it. Okay,
Oh.
interesting. Interesting.
I don't know if I'm. I don't even know if I'm right. I'm just like.
You're getting it from your chat, bro. It's
Dude.
so obvious, bro.
No.
Okay, I can tell you. I can tell. It's okay. You clearly don't know. Okay, you clearly don't know. I'll read it to you.
They're
okay?
not like
I've
the
got
three
it here,
sacred
bro.
factors. It's not a test like that.
No. Okay, I didn't say there were 3 sacred factors.
Okay.
But you're quoting something and you're referencing something.
I'm not
about
quoting
her demeanor,
anything.
Okay. No. Sorry. You're referencing her demeanor.
Pisco doesn't know if he's right. None of these people know how to like. It's so tiring, man. These people don't know how to like talk.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it's relevant.
Now, a totality of circumstances evaluation.
People like Chud at some point wake up, right? No, they don't. No, they don't. He's committed. That's the tragedy of it. He doesn't have the capacity to change anymore. It's when you do this, when you get captured this way, you lose the mental flexibility that allows you to step back, stop, reassess, and go, hey, is this the right path? Because you're committed now. It's sunk cost. He doesn't have, there's not enough to Chud at this point, because he's also wearied himself pursuing this angle. So like this like you stream for 8 hours a day for years, acting out this character. You're gonna forget who you were before that. You incur a debt because you haven't been growing in that time.
Evaluation could include a demeanor. I don't disagree with that,
awesome.
right? But then I'm questioning you about the Graham factors, and you clearly don't know what they are. And the Graham factors, right, are very important factors because they're what the court would tend to weight, and they're referenced specifically in the precedent that's set.
Okay. Congratulations.
Right.
I don't know what
Okay.
that was about.
Why are you acting like that?
I don't know.
I legitimately don't either.
Clearly, well, you're talking about this and you don't know some of the fundamentals. That's what I'm saying.
No,
And
it's
embarrassing.
Sheeny, thank you for the incredibly generous 10 gifted memberships. That will become in very great use because we are doing some. We are returning to the Fight the Empire members only history streams as of next week. We are doing. We are going really hard in on intellectual content, and yeah. Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks.
people's like inaccurate perceptions that there's like a X Factor
No way I stand for Chud Noir. Stand for President Sunday Dark. That's significantly better than Chud Noir.
test to the totality.
Wait, you're misrepresenting my position. I mean,
Okay.
I can't be honest. I thought you were
Actually,
a
good reminder. Subscribe to my side channel, linked at the bottom of my main page. President Sunday Dark. That is where all of the VOD segments are going from now on. This is for the live streams and for the pre-prepared content. President Sunday Dark is where these segments are going. We are very close. I think we're just 200 subscribers away from monetization. Please subscribe. We're close.
good faith guy. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. I'm saying the Graham factors exist, okay? They're referenced all across the fucking US in terms of the law enforcement training even, which is separate to the law, right? Because they're the three most important things they tend to look at. You can look at anything as the totality of circumstances. And in fact, the recent Supreme Court precedent in 2025 reaffirmed the totality of circumstances analysis. But the three Graham factors are the crucial ones that tend to make or break.
He doesn't know what Graham factors are. He doesn't know what Graham factors have to do with the severity of what the suspect is doing. It has nothing to do whatsoever with whether or not it's appropriate to fire into a moving vehicle at an American citizen who's not committing a crime.
Cases. Okay.
Where is that? In virtue of what is that the fact?
Well, let me read the thing.
Here, let me read. The court stated that whether force is reasonable requires a careful balancing of the nature of the intrusion on the suspect's liberty against the countervailing governmental interest at stake. In short, what did the officer do, or what was the nature of the intrusion on the suspect's liberty? And why did the officer do it, or what was the governmental interest at stake? The Graham factors act like a checklist of possible justifications for using force. They are not a complete list, and all of the factors may not apply in every case. The Graham factors are the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect posed an immediate threat, and whether the suspect was actively resisting or trying to evade arrest by flight. ICE does not have the authority to arrest American citizens who are not impeding their investigations. She was not. The severity of the crime, she wasn't committing a crime. Threat, she wasn't posing a threat. Somebody walked in front of her vehicle, and firing at her would not stop the threat of the vehicle that he walked in front of. and the vehicle was not aimed at him, he had to put himself bodily in front of it in order to justify using his firearm, in order to contrive a situation really that the state could pretend justified him using his firearm. This doesn't help you. This doesn't help you at all. Basically, the only condition under which what Jonathan Ross did would have been justified, like, by any metric, would be if, in addition to driving her vehicle, Renee Good was firing on the ICE agent. That's it. That's it. She would have to be literally firing upon him first. That's the only justification. She would have to be drawing a weapon. There would have to be, like, she'd have to be brandishing a weapon. That's the only way I could see this being valid.
To you, okay?
Wait, no, is this AI in virtue of what?
Yes.
It's the
yes, Pisco, it's AI.
actual law. It's the case.
It's not AI. It's just tell me it's not AI.
No, it's
Are you
not
reading
AI.
that off Gemini? No, but Gemini might be drawing what you're getting from. I'm looking at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center's website, which says it's official. I'm looking at this. That's what I'm looking at. And then graham factors are down here. I keep hearing graham crackers whenever I read that. Must be hungry.
AI is not good for looking at this. This is the actual wording of the Supreme Court decision I'm about to read to you.
All right, go for it.
Okay. So it says, because
Wait,
the test of
what
reasonableness...
says? Sorry. What says?
Do you want me to? Okay, I can read the whole thing. It's just
No. I want to know what the thing is.
Connor, 1989. Graham versus Connor, 1989.
Okay.
They set the precedent for objective reasonableness, which is about, which introduces the totality.
I love how, like, none of this has to do with the case. Like, there's not even an attempt to connect the case to whatever math Chud is trying to do here.
Circumstances broadly, yeah.
Okay.
Determining whether the force used to be effective. Determining whether the force used to be effective in a particular seizure is reasonable under the Fourth Amendment requires a careful balancing of the nature and quality of the intrusion on the individual's Fourth Amendment interests against the countervailing government interests at stake. There's a bunch of quotations here. I don't know if you need that, but continuing on, I can send this to you if you'd like as well.
I know Graham.
Our Fourth Amendment.
Hey, Jack Eck. Pastor Sock, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Very much appreciate that. Jack Eck, I've got a proposition for you, and I'm a little bit curious what you think about this. What if we did the theory stream in the Discord? Nah, we'll do the theory stream. We'll do the theory stream here. We'll do it here. I like getting people involved, but we'll do it here this time.
Okay, well, you don't know the Graham factors, so you don't really know it that well.
Well, I don't know them distilled like that, but I know the case.
We know the case, but you've not researched this because the Graham factors are one of the things you undoubtedly find in research about this because it is fundamental to discussing use of force.
Okay, go.
And you haven't looked it up because you don't know.
Keep reading your Graham factors.
Okay.
Where does it say the Graham factors are the most important things?
Sorry, you wanted me to read all of it? Not all of it, but this part I'll read all of it. Our Fourth Amendment jurisprudence has long recognized that the right to make an arrest or investigatory stop necessarily carries with it the right to use some degree of physical coercion of threat thereof to effect it. See Terry versus Ohio. Because the test of reasonableness under the Fourth Amendment is not capable of precise definition or application.
Weird. It sounds like you're saying there's no mechanical application. No, it's not.
I never said no.
Okay,
no.
cool.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Listen. However,
Its
right?
proper
Proper
application.
application requires careful attention to the facts and circumstances of each particular case, including the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. Those are the Graham factors. Those tend to be the most important ones. But you can look at anything in totality of circumstances if you want to. You can make an argument.
No, I'm
right?
I'm asking for the justification that the Graham factors are the most important
Shania, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Very much appreciated.
factors in all these cases. Where does that establish?
I'm not saying they're the most important factors in every case.
You literally you said that they're most important,
when
right?
you look at case law on this, right? What it tends to come down to, right, is
it tends to come down to, because Chud knows case law. Okay, Chud's a lawyer, don't you know? That's why he does drama YouTube as his job, because Chud has legal training. He knows what he's talking about. He spent years in university studying law. Like, here's the thing. I've seen Pisco say some stupid shit before. I've seen him debate very poorly in the past. When Pisco says he recognizes a law, I believe him, because one of the things that happens when you go to school for any subject for a long period of time and you pass and you get your credential is you spend a lot of time just ingesting this stuff and connecting it to other things. And those connections are really what's important, because it means that you have like a built-up memory web that you can draw upon this stuff. You have things reinforcing it. It's why people can like research for a debate and lose it all immediately, whereas like someone who's actually studied can lose the particulars but know how to engage a field, which is really what's important. Because you can be, for example, a trained historian, and hypothetically, like there could be some disaster that wipes out the nation that you're an historian of, but you know how to do a historical analysis and you can apply that elsewhere, right? But if you've only like been like collecting factoids in order to assemble quips for a debate, you're not going to remember anything. Because it's not just about having facts; it's about how, like, having an entrained methodology that you can make use of facts effectively with.
These three factors are the things that they look at like more than any other, but you can use any in your presentation of this. So you could talk about her demeanor. That could come into this. Her demeanor would weigh in her favor.
By the way, Sunday, did you study case law? God, no. I was in political science. I was going to go into law school afterwards. I decided just to finish my my bachelor's.
Right, I agree with that. Yeah, but then if they're looking at it and they're like, right, we're weighing up her demeanor. So, for example, if someone had a good demeanor but they pulled out a gun, right?
Yeah, but no. But the
demeanor would work.
The
demeanor would work in the opposite. The demeanor would work.
The demeanor.
Right? In the opposite
wait,
sorry, go on.
What you're categorizing as the grand factors, her demeanor plays into one of them, right? The notion of whether she's an immediate threat to the safety of the. Wait, let me finish my fucking thought, bitch.
Sorry, please go on. Go on.
Whether or not she has a particular demeanor is relevant to an analysis about whether the officer reasonably apprehends an immediate threat, and so you're acting as though.
Law school, hey, some of my best professors went to law school. Great professors went to law school. I had one that, I actually had one whose demeanor was almost exactly like Howard Hamlin from Better Call Saul. That's why he stuck in my memory so hard. Crazy.
You know, her demeanor is in isolation of what you're characterizing as the grand factors.
No,
but
you're
it's
totally
not.
misrepresenting what I'm saying, actually. You're totally misrepresenting what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying, because you know that you're fucking dude. And unless there's some fucking libtard, Pisco, DGG, a fucking retard in chat, everyone knows I'm correct about this, okay? Her demeanor is potentially relevant as a totality of circumstances analysis.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay?
I didn't say anything more. I even said.
What
Okay.
about the demeanor here? Her arm is literally out. Her arm is on the wheel and outside of the car door. There's no. That's where you want to have your hands when a cop pulls you over, in sight with nothing in them.
Positive.
Listen. The reason the grand factors tend to be more crucial is because to you, right? What is more indicative of a reasonable?
Wasn't RBJ Walker one of your profs? Yeah, but not like he's not like Howard Hamlin. He's like Gary Oldman.
Of using force.
RBJ Walker's lectures were awesome. Machiavelli doesn't care about virtue or heaven. He cares about virtue. It's down here. Heaven's boring. That's RBJ Walker. It's great. His books are really good.
Analysis of a demeanor or analysis of them pulling a gun out on you?
I think pulling a gun out would be more important than demeanor.
He's a nice guy. He gave me a ride home a couple times when my dad was in the hospital.
Right. So you agree then that these factors that they put in the case are likely to be more important than whatever fucking half-baked activist argument you've made up about demeanor?
No, I think that
possible, but it's likely to be outweighed by the other factors presented in the case, isn't it?
I say it's your false assumption that her demeanor doesn't play into the analysis of whether she's a threat.
I never said it doesn't play in. Wait,
So then how
wait.
So
Dude, when did I say? When did I say her demeanor? Wait,
how are you pretending it's something else?
When did I say her demeanor doesn't play into it?
Okay, so it does play into. So you agree that her demeanor. So since you never said that, sorry you didn't. I said that you said it. So therefore, you agree that the grand factors include an analysis of her demeanor, right? The most important factors include an analysis of her demeanor.
No.
Yes or no?
No, they don't.
Oh, but I thought you.
I should have got him to sign one of his books. A friend of mine at the university got him to sign one of hers. I should have. I actually I haven't heard from him in so long. I hope he's alive still. I know the other co-founder of that political science department died recently. I was sad to hear that. Warren Magnuson wrote a really good book on urban politics, which what's the title of it again? I have it on my shelf. It's shit. Where did I put it? I think I have it in my urban planning section. I think it's not up there. Where did I put you? Where did I put you? I legitimately don't know where it went on my shelf. That's gonna frustrate me. But he wrote a really good book on urban politics, and his major thing, and it's actually it's a shame he's not alive anymore because his stuff is so timely right now. In fact, maybe that would be a good theory stream. But his stuff was on like we need to reorient our focus from state level politics and international politics to urban level politics and reposition the city as like the center. And right now that's what's going on, because the disintegration of legitimacy at the federal level through what's been happening with the right-wing takeover of the takeover by right-wing nutjobs who don't know how to run anything across the globe. They only know how to shut things down and use capital to like force idiots into positions of power. Is that everywhere, like life is happening at the urban level. Life is happening at the municipal level, right? I'm going to actually just look at the title quickly because it's driving me crazy. It's something in the right to the city. Warren Magnuson books. Local self-government and the right to the city. His stuff is great. I haven't read his other books, but this one was great. But you probably wouldn't have heard of it because a lot of his stuff is more Canada oriented, which doesn't mean it's not like very good, but like nobody cares about Canada. So, which is the thing of it is like Canada is like culturally very boring in a lot of ways. Canada is very politically important though, because it's a place that still operates. Canada is like the colonial law laboratory, is how I would put it. If Gaza is the naked imperialism laboratory, we are the legal laboratory.
I thought you said it was inclusive of it.
Okay. Right, listen, no. You're totally misunderstanding, misrepresenting me. Okay,
Oh.
It's about a totality of circumstances. Okay, you can argue her demeanor had an influence in this totality of circumstances, objective, reasonable analysis. Okay,
I would.
Skip the theory and organized bookshelf stream. That would take way too much work, and also I can't move my camera yet. I want to invest in redoing the setup. I think what I want to do is get like an actual camera on a. I think what I would like to do is get a laptop set up so I can have a camera on like a tripod and actually just stand in front of the bookshelf. I think that'd be better. This seating arrangement is hard on my shoulders, hard on my back. It tires me out. It also doesn't make like maximal use of like the space, and I'd rather be able to do like the full screen thing. Or do a bookshelf tour. I can do a bookshelf tour. But I don't have like a mobile camera right now to do that, right? So I want to I want to sort of redesign this a little bit so I can do more, like not like move everything around, but I want to get a different setup so I'm not just stuck at the desk, and so I can do like the full camera thing, because I've tried doing the full camera thing, and with the current setup it just doesn't work. So like watch this. I just need some tech upgrades. It's just not great right now. So if I look, if I go to my HUD here, like if I expand this, it just really doesn't work. I don't think it works. Like, let's just bring this down like that. I just really don't think this look works right now. So
I'm glad that you concede that. And yeah,
I didn't. No.
Is that a sword? You're darn tootin'.
I didn't concede it. Okay, I didn't concede.
Well, you
that.
literally
I just
are.
said
Yeah.
that no, I'm not conceding. I'm not conceding anything, bro, because I'm right and you're wrong, and I've looked into this, and you know it. In deep down, you know it, but you've got to save face and do your aura farming to these people that love you. I see through you, dude. We grew up in the same plantation, dude. You know it, but it's okay. I'll let you save face.
So
okay?
when the
I know
media
you're not
threat,
as popular as me. It's okay. Go on.
Something, maybe a bar stool. Well, I can stand and do like stuff like that. Because I've got stuff for it. Like, look at this thing. I've been doing a lot of writing on this. Got a freaking podium in here. I've got my tablet. One of the reasons why essays have been going faster is because I'm not just sitting here like the dad in Coraline, just going constantly. Ugh.
The question about whether she's an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others is in part factually determined by her demeanor. And so I'm not understanding why you're like, oh, it's the grand
Sonny, have you got many new books since your last bookshelf tour? Unfortunately, I've got too many books right now. I have to do a big book dump run and donate a bunch of them because I've got like several boxes down in the corner.
Practice, mate. Not demeanor, mate.
No, listen.
Do a push-up for every $1 donated. I'll do a push-up for every $1 donated. That'll help your physique and posture. I mean, to a point. I feel like once you hit 100, it's probably going to hurt your physique and posture a little bit. But, you know, I'm on YouTube. I'll do anything for money.
Listen.
It could.
Demeanor,
Just like physical labor, make me feel alive for a few seconds again. I'd do that. I'm actually supposed to be going to the gym tomorrow. Terrifying, I know. Terrifying. I'm going to go use the elliptical. I'm going to use a rowing machine. I used to row, believe it or not. I thank God every day that when I was in high school, I did just a shit ton of like endurance stuff. So I've got some shape because it's not looking good down there, guys. I'm working on it. Hey, I didn't say we were doing that yet. I didn't say we're doing that yet.
403 super chatted $5.82. $5.
I didn't say we're doing that yet. I'm not doing burpees. I will die. I will die. I am out of shape right now. I will die, okay? Look at my face like 2 years ago. Okay, I didn't have jowls back then, okay? I working on it. Working on it. What are you doing to grow out your glutes? My glutes, thank you very much, are actually magnificent. I have a very, very, very solid bottom half. I used to walk everywhere.
At Zachball2428
and I rode.
super chatted $10. 10 push-ups.
It's not a matter of building muscle. I got the muscle. It's a matter of getting rid of blubber. Oh, fuck me. Come on. Come on, you assholes. I'm not doing jumping jacks. I'm not dignified. Fucking hell. I hate you people. I hate... Because I'm laughing at Chud now. Now you're going to see me, like, out of shape doing frickin' push-ups in a cardigan. God frickin' I hate. I had dignity once before this job. Do you know that? I had dignity.
At Vodka9384 super chatted $100. Let's get them push UPS going, fatty.
How about no? I'll give you a theory stream tomorrow. I am no. No, I'm not doing 100 push-ups. I'll give you 20. I will give you 20. 20. That's more than you deserve. That 100, that is an act of cruelty. God frickin' okay. Better be good form. I hate you people. I hate you people so much. How do I even do this? I've got like the big game table behind me. You're not going to stay up there, are you? Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Come on, work with me, Kalmar. Alright, very well. This'll do. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can't even see that, can you? You can't even see it. My back is not arching. It is naturally curved that way because I sit at the desk all day. God damn it. Oh, don't forget to breathe. I just realized you guys can't even see this. So I gotta move that down. Then I gotta bring that down there like that. Alright. Scoliosis. I don't actually have scoliosis. My form's probably bad. You're probably seeing my shoulders though, is the thing. Okay, so am I invisible here? Is that good form? Okay, 10 more. Whew. You are useless. We will never speak of this again. Oh, I gotta walk that off and get some water. I'll be right back. Oh. Here we go.
But it doesn't hear.
Okay. No, sure. It doesn't here, but I'm saying that you can look at the demeanor, right? But if the demeanor is conflicted by them presenting an imminent threat to you, right? It's more likely they're going to be more concerned with the imminent threat. For example, they're not going to say, well, they were being really nice and friendly, and then they pulled a gun out. You know, their demeanor, though, was part of the totality of circumstances, so you shouldn't have used lethal force. That imminent threat is going to be more determinant in how the court looks at the objective reasonableness of that use of force. Yes or no?
I didn't really understand your question.
Yes or no?
I didn't understand.
Yes or no?
I didn't understand your question.
What's more important to analyzing this? Someone pulling a gun or someone having a smile on their face? Which one?
Pulling a gun.
Right. So,
but she didn't pull up a gun.
What's more important here? Her demeanor or the arguable threat of her driving a car towards or away from the officer?
I think that the car analysis is more important than her demeanor.
Right.
But I didn't claim otherwise.
Why did I have so much friction on this then?
Because you spazzed out.
Because I was saying.
Because you spazzed out. Because you have a low emotional maturity.
No. Okay, you didn't know what the gram factors were. Okay, you've been exposed on that, right?
The gram factors.
Know because you.
Yeah, but Sonny, look ahead as you do it, not to the floor. It helps keep form. Yeah, but looking down is coping. Because it's just like, almost there. Please, God, just now's the time. I'm ripe for the harvest, okay?
The gram factors. Yeah.
Look it up, bro. Look it up. It's real. Okay, it's a thing.
Okay.
You didn't know that. You argued the demeanor, and I said the demeanor can be included, but these gram factors are likely to be more determinant or more influential because a threat is more important.
It's your.
Now,
Okay, I'm gonna say one more time.
End of it. You lost.
I'm gonna say one more time, right?
End of story, bro.
Her demeanor clearly factors into the question of whether she would pose an immediate threat. And so you're saying the gram factors are more important than her demeanor.
Here, you know what? Just because I'm nice, just that was a very generous donation. I'm going to put 50 for both drama and theory for that. Okay.
As though her demeanor were hermetically sealed and separate from the gram factors.
Well, no, it's a totality of factors. It's a totality.
No, I'm saying specifically
right?
The gram factors. This question about whether or not she's an immediate threat, which is, I agree, highly relevant. Her demeanor is a factor that one considers when analyzing that.
It's
Okay.
something one considers, but that is likely to be less important than the crime at issue, whether they pose an immediate threat or whether they're trying to resist or flee. Those tend to be the most important things they look at. You could put anything you want in there. You could say the weather, right? You could talk about how many people are on the street. You could talk about whether the officer had taken a shit or not, okay? But these 3 grand factors are so crucial because they tend to be the most determinate in terms of analyzing whether use of force was objectively
I'm going to try
reasonable.
one last time to make sure this gets across.
Go
Do
on.
you agree that one under the grand factors would analyze her demeanor?
No, because that's not part of the grand factors.
Of course
The
it
grand
is.
factors
Of course it is.
No,
So,
it's not. The grand factors. No. You're misunderstanding. Totality of circumstances is everything.
He bought you off the meter. Jack Eck, he just or they just, I don't know what vodka is, to be honest with you. Vodka self just screwed up your theory meter because now I'm out of breath.
The court said there are grand factors. There are 3 things: the type of the crime you're trying to detain them for, okay, or investigate or whatever, right? The immediate threat to the safety of the officer. And
Hey, Jack Eck, we're doing politics tomorrow. Do you want to? Are you down with doing Carl Schmidt tomorrow? We'll do a longer one. We'll start with it. If you're okay with that, I think that'd be a lot more fun. I'm like, whew. You don't understand. I'm so out of shape right now. Oh my god.
and whether they're resisting arrest.
So my
right?
question is,
those are the grand factors. Those are the 3 most important. Demeanor is another part of the brutality of circumstances.
So
I'm chill. You're wrong. I'm
you
not
pointed
chill
to
because you're fucking wrong.
You pointed to 3 factors. Factor 2. I'm pointing to one specific factor. Factor 2. Quote.
What I missed? Are you good with doing Carl Schmidt tomorrow? We'll open with it.
Whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officer or others would, as a
Plus, I'll have some time to prep a thing for tomorrow.
factual consideration under factor 2 of what you're calling the grand factors.
If you want tonight, that's fine. I feel like it'll be a higher quality tomorrow, so I won't be out of breath, and I'll do a better one. Yeah, Schmidt, whenever. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do a Carl Schmidt stream tomorrow. We'll be talking about talking more about international politics stuff, and we'll be talking about that. Yeah, I didn't pay even 100. Oh, it's fair actually. There wasn't really a vote, was there? But we still hit the theory meter, so we're gonna do it tomorrow. Ico's going live soon. Yeah, we'll raid into Ico when that starts. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. I want to see them cover the actual footage because I just want to see what the argument is. Chud is embarrassing here though. This is genuinely embarrassing.
Anyway.
Okay.
Come on. Let's just chill out now. Come on. Right, shoot.
Sad, man.
Not shoot. Go. Right, go on.
All right. So one factor that I take in her favor is her demeanor. I also take into fact what she says here.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
She doesn't seem like someone who's angry. She doesn't.
Oh
seem
shit!
Like someone
We are at the 2-hour mark, aren't we?
Who is intentionally trying to run people over. She seems more.
Sure.
Yes, she's definitely I think a bit cheeky, and I think the mere fact that she's trying to fuck with ICE shows that she's being tongue in cheek. But I don't think this is a murderer who wants to just kill the person. That's just my read on it as a human being.
So yeah, I don't think she's a murderer that wants to kill someone. I'd agree with that. Okay.
So what's the justification for shooting her then?
But I think you're underplaying the antagonism here because she was in the road beeping a horn.
Yeah, no doubt.
Minutes before this.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
So what?
And the thing is, mate, look, let's just not be too gay about it, right? I don't fucking like ICE. You don't like ICE, okay?
I prefer you not use this heteronormative language.
What is wrong with these people?
What do you mean, dude?
Well, you know exactly what the fuck I mean.
Are you fucking serious, bro?
Yeah, it's triggering for me.
Oh my god. Right, but the thing is, you'd agree with me that regardless of what you think about ICE, I think about ICE, whatever, it doesn't change, obviously, the legal precedents and whatnot, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think it changes it. And that's why I'm not throwing out a lot of people are oh, ICE can't even arrest, mate. They can't even arrest, mate. I'm not doing that.
Sure, and I know, yeah. I mean, that is there are some really
Tell Echo to schedule her stream already so I can raid.
terrible takes. But then, the thing is as well, the right had reflexively bad takes too. So it's just so happens that, I think they're largely correct on some stuff.
Okay, all right.
Go on.
So I'm taking, I think a reasonable officer takes into account her demeanor,
Stop calling it an officer. It's crazy that Pisco doesn't even know what this person is. This is an ICE agent. This is not a police officer. Stop calling it a police officer.
into account the words she's saying. This is an asshole. Yeah. And by the way, I'm even putting aside the possibility that the officer themselves is trying to provoke a self-defense situation. That's not even part of my analysis. Although I think someone who would make that argument.
She's about half an hour. Yeah, but she can schedule it for half an hour from now. Then I can raid into the scheduled stream.
Would take into that what this motherfucker says afterwards.
Sunday, whatever happened to your political theory roadmap video? Some of your other book vids, like the ones featuring genes, brains, and human potential. Some of those are on the previous channel. Some of them, I think some of them are on the Patreon and zip files you can download. But I don't know. But like, this is one of the reasons why I don't fuck with people in Pisco's circle. It's because fundamentally, like, they aren't doing anything like genuinely critiquing power. They're playing with it in a safe lane. And it's why Pisco is having these chummy debates with these people. Because that's what they're good for, is getting themselves into the limelight. But that's it. Like, this is fundamentally like a masturbatory self-aggrandizing exercise. There's no reason to have a debate with Chud over this. Chud is not important. He's not even an American. Which typically wouldn't be like a game changer for me, but it's like there are literally no stakes involved in beating Chud in a debate on this. Yeah, capital.
And what she's saying there. All right, so we keep going.
Yeah.
It's okay, we don't change our plates
So,
every
oh,
morning.
sorry, can you just say, why do you think he's filming the car? What's your take on that?
I'm assuming this for a law enforcement purpose.
Why?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree.
So you know-
What does that even mean? For a law enforcement, what do you think he's filming the car for? I don't know, police stuff, I guess.
It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking...
So there's antagonism coming from her as well.
Who cares?
Maybe he doesn't know that's
So what? Who cares?
the wife, but there's someone else that's being antagonistic towards him too.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Amongst the broader antagonism in the street, right? So you'd be
Yeah,
on edge in this situation, right?
I don't think he's on edge. I think he's like pissed off.
Both. He's both. He's probably both.
Do you think he's afraid of her? It's two
Wait, what
people.
does pissed off mean to you? Can you describe the definition
Annoyed.
of pissed and off?
These are stupid distinctions.
Annoyed,
Okay.
not necessarily afraid,
Okay.
or in apprehension of a reasonable fear of serious bodily injury or death.
Sure. I think that you could call that like on edge. I mean,
That's like a weirdly intellectual definition of that. Fear is an emotion. Fear is not a sentence.
I don't know, dude. I feel like we're getting into the semantics of it, but like he's frustrated. He's like frustrated, and yeah.
And he has his phone out. What is the purpose of having his phone out? What is the purpose of switching his phone to his non-gun arm? What is the purpose of having his phone out aimed at the van while he walks in front of it?
like
Yeah,
that.
and I think an objectively reasonable officer should not be like fucking like that. I think.
See, this is why this guy sucks. Like, Pisco doesn't know a whole lot either. Like, he's barely paid attention to the case. He's barely paid attention to the case. He's referring to this person like it's a cop. He has no idea. It's like, it's embarrassing. There we go. Finally. Okay. So Aiko's going live in a few minutes. Guys, it's been a slice. Actually, it's been hell. This has been miserable.